figure it out. Just keep talking. Just do your thing, okay?
So,
All
so
right.
Mr. Gate, did you catch any of the conversation so far? Is there anything
Yeah,
that
yeah. I
you
think I've caught pretty much the whole thing. I'm not super clear on who is who, but the
Oh
guy
yeah,
who
no,
talks
I'm
really quietly doesn't like me. Is that you?
hang on, hang
Wait,
on. I didn't.
me?
No, that's you. Okay, okay. Yeah, I can't quite
Oh,
match it up.
wait.
What?
I talk quietly? I'm quiet?
Yeah, there's like the people in the chat were saying like you sound like you're trying not to wake up your roommate.
That's LMF, but I don't think
Yeah,
LMF
that's
has
me.
been.
This is how I normally talk. But
Yes,
I'd rather be accused of whispering than pedophilia. So
that's the one. You're the guy. Okay, yeah. So
Wow.
I'm trying to figure out where everybody is because I couldn't separate all the voices. But yeah, I've been following the general ideas. It was just you who was saying that comparing rapists to pedophiles?
No. I was actually. It was even more edgy than that. I was trying to make a point about tolerance and saying, you can be too tolerant. And I've accused you before of straddling the line on.
Sorry. Listen, my Discord is fucked. I need to reset it. Okay, I'll be back in just a sec.
Okay.
Just have an awkward moment of silence. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Jackie. No.
Wait, can't we just talk? What?
Yeah, of course we can talk.
I don't feel like we need to be silent just because his Discord is fucked.
Well, they're not going to
Yeah.
hear us because
Yeah,
he's
that's fine.
dropped from Discord. So,
Which
anything
has
you
the
want to
thing
say
for
that you want the others to hear?
Yeah, I'm secretly completely in favor of everything that Mr. Girl says, but don't tell anyone else. Wait, is the stream different?
I think we're all in favor of everything Mr. Girl says. It's just a matter of how much
No.
we're willing to admit it.
So the point that I was making previously is we can be too tolerant. And,
Yeah. I was just making sure it was you. You were saying if we normalize rapists, then we are actually causing more harm by doing that.
Yeah. So
No, I don't.
so I actually had a point that I almost got in before Judd got angry. We you were talking about how we don't want to humanize, and I think it was LMF that was talking about it. That we don't want to humanize pedophilia in the same way that we have been humanizing, LGBT and stuff like that. But here's the thing: there's a different reason as to why we want to sort of destigmatize it, because we want to destigmatize pedophiles in so far as to them going to actually get treatment and not fiddling kids, whereas we do want to destigmatize LGBT stuff because we want them to be accepted in.
Well, I think there's a lot of vagueness in your terminology here of like what normalize and tolerate all mean. Like, the fight to normalize or tolerate LGBT people wasn't like it's okay to think about fucking other guys. It's okay to actually fuck other guys, right? That's what normalizing or tolerating a gay person is. Well, yeah, but the part that horrifies people is the sex. But you're conflating a fantasy or an urge with an action. Well, it doesn't matter. You're still conflating an action with an urge. Great. Has anybody said that we should?
If we okay, it was a slippery slope. It was. If we my original question was, can we tolerate too much? Can we humanize too much? That was my original question.
You're talking about the paradox of tolerance.
And the answer to that is yes, we can and we shouldn't, but no, that's not what people are arguing for here. And in the interview, and what we were talking about, like, because the initial argument from Demsock was that Stardust overly humanized Mr. Girl.
Right. That has nothing to
And-
do with whether people should be allowed to marry kids. I don't see that's completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that wasn't. I wasn't claiming. I never claimed that you said that. Just to be clear.
You just claimed that if somebody said that, then you would disagree with it, but that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
I
Well,
don't think that's a fair representation, but I don't want to take up too much time with it. So go ahead.
maybe restate the position based on what the original argument was. Demsaka 1 was thinking that Stardust overly humanized Mr. Girl. Your argument is a slippery slope argument that it can go too far and we can get to a point where we're just accepting pedophiles as marrying children, as your example was.
Yeah,
Maybe
I mean,
restate your position a little bit more cogently so we can work with
I'm
it.
somewhat of there's a point that Zizek makes here, which is that we can talk about all of these different things, but as soon as somebody in society starts talking about should rape be allowed or not, the person automatically disqualifies themselves from the conversation.
Well, fortunately, that's not what we're arguing. So, what is your concern?
My concern is that if we so a point that I've made before is that I feel like what Mr. Girl, since he's here, I can say it to him. What
Yeah.
he's doing is he's making a mockery of liberal values, and if anything, you may be the one that's trying to conflate LGBT with pedophilia. This sense of
Can you be more specific?
it'd be better if I took the form of asking you questions. And I've never talked to you before.
Okay.
I've only been exposed to the content which the streamers that I watch stream of you, and I've actually me trying to balance the conversation to take it the other direction,
Okay,
rather
so-
than just outright. I don't outright condemn you. Let me just say that.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so you have a.
But I do condemn Dylan Burns.
Okay, I don't. What question can you ask me that has any bearing on what Stardust already did? Don't I mean, isn't that kind of like a little unfair to her to like if you say, so Mr. Girl, what do you think the age of consent should be? And I say 11, and then everybody looks at Stardust like, see, but like I didn't say that on her stream, and I've never said that anywhere else, and I didn't say that before her stream, so I don't see.
I mean, ask her. Ask her. Stardust. Do you feel that I was?
If you want to ask me, I'm saying if you want to ask me a question about about platforming as an idea or what I think of, like I came in here to say that you're wrong. I disagree with you, but I don't. Digging up more dirt about what kind of horrible person I am is not fair to Stardust because we're going off of what she knew when she made the life-changing decision to interview me.
I think I understand what you're saying. I'm not going to pick any bones about it. I think I am being fair to her.
Okay.
Maybe the best way that I could form this is, what do you feel would be too far that you could say which should lead to your deplatforming, or is there nothing? Should you say whatever you? Is there anything that you could possibly say which would mean that you should be deplatformed? Is that a fair question?
I think should is a tricky one there. I'll say that there are people who I don't think there's anybody I wouldn't interview. So Ethan Ralph just asked me if I want to be on the kill stream, if I want to go on the kill stream and debate somebody, and I said I want to talk to Nick Fuentes or any other white supremacist, preferably a prominent one, right?
What is your intent there? May I ask?
Yeah, I want to know that as well.
Sorry, you're speaking to white supremacists right now, buddy. So let's fucking go.
The professor of words himself.
We've got the clip that proves it.
Wait, if I can just say, can I say just one thing? I think that Mr. Girl going and debating Nick Fuentes would be hilarious. I don't think that there's anybody more qualified to make Nick Fuentes as uncomfortable as possible. And that's so funny.
It would be content for months.
Well,
it would be so good.
I'm going to do my best. So, but not with the goal of making him uncomfortable. I just want to talk to him.
Yeah.
So what would my goal be?
That's okay. That's our goal.
Okay, that's fine. So my goal would be to hear him out, understand his ideas, compare my ideas to his, and get him to a place where we understand each other. I feel like talking to somebody who is like a Nazi or white supremacist or whatever is very emotionally triggering for a lot of people. And the desire to not want to associate with that person, and which is obviously part of what we're talking about, kind of makes it so you can't connect with them, and I think that's not a good thing. I think I don't believe in the deplatforming versus platforming kind of dichotomy the way you're saying it. Yes, anytime you talk to somebody, if you have a big platform or a small platform, you're amplifying their voice, but also a conversation is happening, and I think you should be careful. I think if Nick Fuentes came on my stream and I was buddy with him and did the Joe Rogan thing, and I didn't push back on anything he said and made it seem like I believed what he was saying, that's irresponsible because I don't believe what he's saying. So if I'm also a white supremacist and he comes on and we're both white supremacists, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because if you're a white supremacist, you should say white supremacist shit. I think that's like the moral thing to do. Now, what's tricky with Stardust, and what I think is not quite coming through here, is the same thing happened. I went on her stream, and she basically agreed with a bunch of stuff I said. And if she had disagreed with me, nobody would confront her about it. Nobody would have a problem with it, like Vosh.
How come she never said she'd agreed with you? How come she never said that? I haven't heard her say that once in this conversation.
That she agreed with me?
Yeah,
I
like
agreed with him on certain
things.
points. Yeah, but I did push back on like a couple of things.
You pushed back gently, but you did not. There was no moment where you were like, "This is hey, just so everybody knows, this is really fucked up." You had a great time. You were like, "This is a great conversation.
Yeah.
I enjoy this. I enjoy your ideas. I think they're compelling," and you implicitly and explicitly agreed with me about a bunch of stuff. So there's this weird thing happening where I feel like if you came out and said that more directly, then maybe these guys would be arguing with you about your beliefs. But you're in a sort of a middle place where they're saying if you agree with him, then you should say that. If you don't agree with him, then why didn't you push back?
Hold on. I think I'm the only one who disagrees with Stardust platforming you. I don't think anyone else here has.
Oh, yeah, okay. Can we just listen? Sorry, can we cut to the chase? Cut the fucking bullshit from all of you wankers, okay? Here's what I want to happen. I want Mr. Girl and Pragmatic Leftist, if you're comfortable to, Pragmatic Leftist, to have a backwards and forwards, okay? Everyone else is trying to get their fucking dicks out, okay? I don't want to see anyone else's dicks. Let's go.
Not even my horse cock.
Shut up. Go.
Okay, so have you been hearing what I've said so far?
I don't know who said what, but I've heard everything that was said. So if you want.
Okay, so I'm the person who opposes like all of this stuff.
Yeah.
You know that. Yeah. Do you need more elaboration or?
What basis that it's going to lead to children getting raped?
Yeah.
Okay, and what all this stuff means, you're opposed to destigmatizing pedophilia.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, if there was a mental illness that made people want to bite other people, and some people give into it, but you can, with social distancing and whatever, it's a manageable condition. But if you don't know somebody has it and you get on a subway with them and it's crowded, they bump up against you, they might have the uncontrollable urge to bite you. Do you see why you see the comparison I'm making? Like, I think it would be a good thing to know who has that.
Sure.
Right? So, to me, destigmatization is a way to, self-report, except you're not going to self-report if you think we're going to kick you off the spaceship. So if you know that what's going to happen is we're going to say, okay, you're a pedophile. That's fine. Here's some certain jobs you can't have. Here's some certain positions you can't have. You might not be able to have kids. You blah, 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 blah. We're gonna sort of manage your life the way we would manage the life of somebody who uncontrollably bites people when they're near them. And we're going to have to structure society a little bit differently around you. And this is not any small number of people, right? I think from what I've heard or read, it's like between 1% and 3% of men have strong, persistent, and when I say pedophilia, I mean prepubescent children. Strong, persistent, maybe primary attractions to prepubescent children. So my view is that if we make it so that you can tell your friends, and I know this sounds crazy now, but if it were destigmatized, not normalized, but accepted that this is happening, it's already happening. The only difference is that we'd be talking about it. If we're accepted that you could tell your friends, like, yeah, I'm a pedophile. Like, you know, I would love to, you know, babysit your kid while you're at the movies this weekend, but I shouldn't because I'm a pedophile. I think that that would be a good thing.
Okay, so one question. How do you differentiate between destigmatization and normalization?
To me, normalization of so like if we're normalizing talking about it, I guess there's 3 levels. There's I'm a pedophile and it's really upsetting to me, and I'm a pedophile, and it's really upsetting to me. In this example I'm giving, and it's upsetting to me, and but I can talk about it. And then there's I'm a pedophile and I'm okay with it. I think it's a good thing. And then there's I'm a pedophile and I'm actually going to abuse children. So I think when we say destigmatization, we're talking about the first one. We're saying destigmatization means the new page we're trying to get people on, or I guess that I'm trying to get people on, is that there's nothing you could do about it, especially if you can't talk about it. So we accept that some people are pedophiles. That's different from accepting pedophilia as like a belief system or a social norm. We're accepting that it's happening, whether we like it or not. And then from there, we can say, okay, pedophilia it's bad to be a pedophile. That's a bad thing. Definitionally, in the DSM, to be diagnosed with pedophilia, it has to either bother you or you have to abuse children. If you've never acted on it and it doesn't bother you, they say you don't have a pedophilia. So if you're fine with being attracted to children and it never affects anybody negatively ever, then they're like, that's fine. There's nothing to fix then. But I suspect to most pedophiles it does bother them, and many of them do act on it with child porn or actually abusing children. So I think destigmatization just means you have a problem, just like alcoholism. Like, it's okay to tell somebody that you're an alcoholic generally in normal society. You should keep me away from alcohol. Don't invite me to your bachelor party. I'm an alcoholic. I have a disease. I always will be an alcoholic, blah, blah, blah. That kind of thing.
May I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Do you believe that pedophilia is a sexuality and not a fetishization, or a sexuality?
I think if we're talking about when you say do I believe in it, you're referring to other constructed labels. Do you mean do I think there's utility in calling it a sexuality, or do you mean that do I think more deeply the true nature of it is that it is an orientation?
I was just asking you, do you believe that it is a sexuality? And I do accept your point, but I just want to, can we start there?
I think in many instances it behaves the same way as a sexual orientation, in that I imagine a pedophile who's not attracted to adults, who feels social pressure to have sex with adults anyway, to try to fake it or blend in, probably has an unpleasant time of it if they're not sexually attracted to the person that they are having sex with. But I think that I guess I don't really think gay or straight are sexualities either. So in that sense, I have a sort of deconstructivist view of sexual spectrums. So probably not, but I also don't think being straight is really a sexuality either.
And if you don't accept that, hetero or so you don't believe that the current labels we have for sexuality are accurate or have any utility?
I think the utility is that you're telling somebody what you've done, what you're willing to admit you'd like to do, or what you know you'd like to do, and what you predict you're going to do. So if I say I'm gay, that means my plan is to only fuck men for the rest of my life. But if I fuck somebody else, then I was wrong, and then I'll just say I was bi or I'm pan or whatever. It's like a prediction and a guess at your own deepest, darkest fantasies. But I don't think we really know. And having seen my own sexual appetites change significantly over the years, I don't really believe. I guess I'm just extrapolating. I don't think any of us knows exactly where we're gonna end up on the dartboard at the end of our lives.
So does this mean that you don't really believe that sexuality exists at all, or do you mean, like, in what way do you mean that?
I just think there's a part of us that wants to do all kinds of things that we don't think about or even know that we want to do, or that we wouldn't act on, or this stuff. Yeah. Like if you're masturbating, the stuff that you're thinking about right before you orgasm is probably pretty different from the stuff you're thinking about if you're like just out and about walking around.
Okay, so I can say that I agree that sexuality might change, and that you might experience different levels of pleasure to different thoughts at different points in time.
Yeah.
So, which is why we don't really know exactly where sexuality comes from, or like what it is in that sense, how rigid it is, because we know that some people may appear straight as an arrow one day, and then like 2 years later, turns out they were gay, and then people will say, yeah, they were gay all along. And
but like I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I just want to ask a quick question. Hello, I'm Rhizome.
Hello.
Girl.
Hey.
Hello.
So it sounds like you're basically saying that like sexuality is not a hard label, right? That like, to some degree, inside my head somewhere, I like men. I like every gender. It's to some extent.
Yeah, like you have stuff you do, and you did. You have stuff you did while you were drunk that you don't even know you did. You have stuff you're thinking and feeling, and you have stuff you don't know you're thinking and feeling. And to me, when you tell someone your orientation, what you're really doing is saying, like, here's the kind of surface level stuff, and here's what you can expect from me, right? If I'm at a gay bar and someone says, are you gay? If I say, yeah, I'm gay, that means, okay, so you're available to me, and you're generally not blah, 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 doing all this other stuff I associate with straightness. But it's just an idea. Like, if we're talking about it on a deeper level of accepting our true human nature, I think it starts to fall apart pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's not like a hard statement on what is contained within my brain to say whether I'm straight or gay or not, right?
Exactly.
I'm not saying by virtue of saying that I'm straight that I contain no other types of thoughts towards my sexuality or sexualizing other people at all.
Yes, and so if you're talking about pedophilia, then I think there's a little pedophile in all of us.
Okay.
So
okay.
I feel like
I'm gonna draw the line there.
Well, no,
I think,
can I respond really quick, because I actually kind of agree with that
in
the sense that not that we have a little pedophile in all of us, but that
not literally a little pedophile.
Right, because you're not saying that there is one in us, but the potential for that outcome is within us. Is that what you're saying?
I think child abuse is common enough that to say, like, all of us in this Discord call, we're all normal. Like, we would never do anything like abuse a child. It's just the rampant, huge other numbers of people that would do that. It just seems like, just like you're capable of being talked into being a Nazi, most likely. If the right conditions and right mental damage happens to you, or whatever goes wrong with people to turn them into child abusers, it doesn't seem like anything particularly unique is there from the start, or is inside of someone who becomes a child abuser. It seems like pretty common, and yeah.
So the thing is, I think the point you're making just sounds terrible to people who have that bias, right? Like the bias to think, okay, if he's saying there's a little pedophile in all of us, he's saying we are each pedophilic, or saying that it's normal to be pedophilic.
I mean,
right?
yeah, it doesn't feel good saying it exactly either.
But do you mean?
I guess I'm not saying.
Well, it may feel justified for someone who's a pedophile to hear that.
But do you mean that in the sense that
I think that's what I'm talking to.
So when you're saying that there's a little pedophile in all of us, do you mean that in the sense that everyone probably has the potential to turn out a pedophile.
I think what he's
within
saying,
within the correct circumstances.
I don't know, not exactly. I mean, like maybe from birth, it's possible for anybody to. I don't know how genetically linked it is. Just like being
don't think
gay,
anyone
like
knows.
I don't think anybody knows how genetically linked being gay is. I'm just saying, like, it's foolish to say I'm 100% straight, I'm 100% whatever. That undesirable thing, that's not a part of me, that's a part of you guys. Like if I said there's a little murderer in all of us, like we've all had a moment where we're like, wow, I'd really like to kill that person, or just a sudden feeling of rage or or violent fantasy. It's not as controversial.
I think the problem here, though, is the word "is" in the sentence. Like, there is a little pedophile in all of us. Couldn't we just say the same thing by saying there is the potential for everyone to develop pedophilic thoughts and tendencies, as opposed to saying the more provocative,
I don't think so.
Thing?
That's hard to put on a bumper sticker, though.
I said this to Destiny. I think that everybody has had the experience at age 9 of wanting to fuck a 9-year-old. So to me,
I disagree.
That doesn't make you a pedophile at age 9, though, right? Like,
no,
you're
of
not
course
necessarily.
No.
Okay,
of
yeah.
course not.
So
I'm just saying that.
So first of all, not everybody,
Hang
but
on,
most people have had a crush on a 9-year-old at age 9.
Well, based on
Is it-
what?
is it
Your
Yeah, when I was
experience
10,
or-
I had a crush on a 10-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, based on
But
two
is
people's
that even
experience. I
sexual?
mean,
I mean,
I don't think you
yeah,
can
but
get
also-
most from that.
you
seem-
tend to
okay,
be
when you saw-
attracted
when you
to
s-
the
when you
group
s-
that you're exposed to, right?
Have you?
So it's if you're
No, you can expose
you're
me
all
to
gonna be of
9-year-olds. I could be on an island, trapped on an island with a bunch of 9-year-olds for the rest of my life, and I don't think I'd develop a crush on any of them.
No, but early on in your age, your experiences are going to be with people within your age group or that are around you, and that's more than likely as you're developing through puberty and having your first experiences where you're going to notice others, right?
I think
so
you're
it's
doing
going
a
to
lot
be
of work to explain something that just seems intrinsically obvious to me.
But-
10-year-olds have crushes on other 10-year-olds. They have crushes on
Okay,
adults too, but they also have crushes on each other.
But there's
could
a
I-
Can we just say they
Well-
can have crushes on each other? I mean, just not all do, right? Not everybody experiences those feelings that early on.
Oh, okay.
well,
This
I
doesn't-
never
this
experienced
doesn't-
them myself.
this
but-
I would say
something
it's
else.
not. I would say
Okay,
it's-
listen, please stop talking over each other for fuck's sake. I know everyone's trying to get in, but please, just I don't want to have to fucking moderate, okay?
May I
Right,
interject?
Mr. Let Let Mr. Girl say what he was going to say. and
Okay,
then
so
you
my,
can
my,
respond.
my point is that I guess my working kind of theory is that it's pedophilia is like a kind of stunted growth where you just never move on from there. And so I always think about Michael Jackson when I think about this. He just seems like he wanted to stay a kid forever, wanted to be friends with kids the way kids are friends with kids, and probably wanted to be in love with kids the way kids are in love with each other. So I don't think it's this extra alien thing that is in certain people. I think it's something getting derailed or going wrong. And so in that sense, I don't know. I don't really know what I think if you could engineer someone's life to turn them into a pedophile. It does seem that pedophiles are very commonly abused themselves, so that seems to have something to do with it.
Yeah, I think the easiest way to say this with the least contention, which I hope you would want the least contention, would just be to say that, like, pedophilia is a potential of the human condition. And then I don't think anyone's going to have an issue with that. I don't think anyone's going to think you're advocating for pedophilia with that statement, right?
You're hired.
I think it
My
kind
new
of
PR
takes us.
guy.
The thing
As
is,
long as you
it
can bring
kind
the
of takes
cat.
us down a path. It takes us down a path that I feel is, in a way, not really productive, though, because the ultimate accusation here is that both Stardust and Mr. Girl's approach to this subject is irresponsible and brings harm. And I think we kind of need, like, I think all of us can agree here that we want pedophiles to not offend, and we would want people with those urges to seek treatment and take preventative measures to avoid ever offending. I think we can all agree on that. So the question is, how do we approach that in a responsible manner that doesn't further empower offending pedophiles?
How do we know that the methods taken by Stardust and Mr. Girl so far have actually empowered anybody more than just maybe having the potential to be read that way?
I don't think they have, but that's the argument that was posed.
They've actually
by
been read the
Demsock.
opposite way.
Well,
If I can just say, I I just think that me and Mr. Girl having a conversation, I don't think we were advocating for P words to be okay to marry children. And I think that all of you in this chat should tread very carefully, because from now on, none of you in this chat can come at me for irresponsible platforming ever again. Okay, I don't want to hear it. That's all I'm
Stardust,
saying.
I've never criticized you for
Tainted.
irresponsible platforming.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I know,
by the way.
I know,
Well,
I know.
you're all
I'm just
platforming
saying.
me now, so we're in this
I'm
together.
treading
so we
all
better
over
try
the
to
place.
better try to figure this out.
But
Can I
okay,
ask you-
I actually had a question about, or I had a comment about the stigmatization versus stigmatization, I guess, as to Sonia, were you the
Yes.
last one to speak?
I was.
Okay, so there was something about, oh god damn it, I almost have it. You were talking about oh no. Okay, I completely lost it. I'm sorry. Just
Okay,
Can
go
I
on
just
without
keep
can I
moving, keep moving,
dogpile
keep
him
moving.
while you
Go, go, go.
think?
Yeah.
Let me dogpile him while you think about it.
Bring
Go
it.
on.
So when you use the example of a 9-year-old and a 9-year-old, what I wanted to ask you was, as a 9-year-old with that what we call attraction to another 9-year-old, is that even sexual in any way?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
we know that sexuality develops super early in children, so there are probably some sexual instincts within the all the way down to even before 9-year-olds.
Infants.
Speak for
Infants.
yourselves, sex havers. I'm
Infants.
asexual. That's why I say that. I'm
Yeah.
just memeing around.
I figured.
So like, does sexuality not change after puberty? Because it seems to me that that'd radically shift the way that
I
we.
would say ideally it does change. If you want to be a normal, functioning, non-pedophile member of society, you have to, figure out a way to be attracted to people who are older than 9.
Rather than Michael Jackson, this Peter Pan kind of idea you were expressing.
Yeah, I think Michael Jackson did not figure out how to be attracted to anyone who was older than 9.
Do you want to speak about why that could have been, or we can
Oh,
move on?
I can speak to that.
Yeah, I mean, I would just guess it had
Why-
something to do with his parents selling his childhood away and him feeling like he never
Yeah.
got to have it.
In the
Yeah,
same
makes
way that some children are abused sexually, there's something about I'm gonna assume here. There's something about you losing a part of your childhood
Yeah.
that you are sort of never able to regain properly, and that was the case with Michael Jackson. He never actually got to be a proper child. He was a prop in the beginning of his life, and then he was an artist for the rest of his life.
It's interesting
is
to
it
hear
the-
you guys say, because I had the same theory about Michael Jackson for a long time. I think you're right.
Is it a failure to go through a rite of passage?
A psychological or neurological rite of passage. I would think so. But like I said, I think part of you is always 9. It just depends on how much of you is 9 and how deluded you are into thinking that that's like the real you, or that it's. I also think pedophiles think that 9-year-olds are older than they are. I think they think that a 9-year-old can have a real romantic relationship with them too. I think that's another component of it. But what does this have to do with platforming?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
can we move away from the fucking pedo shit, okay? Like, I'll be honest with you, right? I've had a fucking stomach of it, all right? My
The only
daughter's
thing I
7.
wanted from
It was a
Chad
bit
was
weird,
another
champ.
impression of Michael Jackson.
No, listen, listen, I can't do it
No.
on the spot, okay? All I want to do is talk about whether Mr. Girl should be platformed or not. So if
But it's
anyone
the
else
same
talks about
Right, so
pedo shit,
you're investigating my
Yeah.
ideas to see retroactively again. But like, well, first of all, you're all platforming me now, so you can't win the argument anymore. But second
I
of
have
all,
2 viewers. I'm not platforming anyone.
Can I just say that also? Let's look at how much pushback that Mr. Girl is getting here. Just
Okay,
saying.
Stardust. I'm just gonna say, if When I defend
No,
Rosh,
fuck
this
you,
is how
okay?
I sound.
Fuck
I am so
you.
sorry.
Right.
Okay, I'm sorry
let's
to everyone. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
no,
Wait,
no,
this
wait.
is
no.
so
You're
bad.
you need to be sorry to me specifically, okay?
But
I will accept nothing less.
I think some of this is sexism.
It is.
Let,
Oh,
It is.
come
let's
on,
push
mate.
back.
Okay.
I agree.
I don't. I
Let's
don't.
push back.
Like, and
I
I'm not
do.
memeing, by the way.
Seriously.
I don't. I don't. I don't.
I
Yeah.
am
I
I
will-
am 100% serious. Are you fucking kidding me?
Wait,
Even
okay.
Rose Wrist talked to Mr. Girl. Did anybody go after him? No. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Could I ask a
Okay,
question really quick?
wait. No, I'm sorry. I have to like clarify this. Not only were you
You're
criticized,
fucking
but
sexist, okay? That's what I'm gonna say.
Stardust, come on.
no, wait. I have been 10 times more critical of Destiny platforming, Mr. Girl, in the way that he did than I have of you. So that's absolute fucking bullshit. Go on. Go ahead.
So he's here now, though.
have
Why don't you
you?
try and why don't you
How
do
come I
it?
didn't hear that from you? How come I didn't hear that from you this entire conversation?
Because this is a conversation about you platforming, Mr. Girl. This is not
Then
a
you should
conversation
have
about
clarified.
Destiny
When I
platforming.
brought up Destiny and I brought up Vosh, you didn't say anything about them.
What does platforming mean? I feel like we're operating on very different.
That's a great question.
definitions.
That's a really important question.
Isn't platforming the lack of being
well,
removed from the
I think we should
platform?
let people who
okay.
have strong opinions try to define platforming first. Like the people who are claiming that something was done wrong should say
Well-
what they believe platforming is first.
I want to just clarify something real quick though, because before
go
we
ahead,
did
Daniel.
we did deep dive effectively what platforming meant, and what I noticed is that we kept going into like cavernous depths that weren't meaning anything. So I asked for clarification, and I proposed to DemSoc, is your problem with the particular platforming that happened that it was too humanizing of Mr. Girl? And that was what was confirmed by DemSoc. And it's the concern, what we weeded out was that the concern, because we kept getting into the nuance of platforming, it seemed like nobody really cared. What they cared about was how Mr. Girl was presented to Stardust audience.
Yeah. So I think that.
Mhm.
So I guess what I was saying before is that I think if Stardust, if you more, maybe they wanted more of an answer from you on whether you agree with the shit I'm saying. Maybe it's a thing where, like, if I'm talking to Nick Fuentes and he says, the Holocaust, it didn't really happen, then everyone's going to look at me to be like, well, I think it did, everybody. Like maybe it's expected of you as the host to make your stance known. And maybe if you made it more known that, like, hey, I think these are compelling ideas and I agree with you. Or even like I agree with the murkiness of consent or all this stuff you're getting shit for.
Yeah, the murkiness of consent. Yeah, 100%. I do think that it's a very complicated issue.
So then if
I don't know if that would stop though, because when I did say that, then there were people saying like that I had horrible takes on consent.
Well, yeah,
So I don't know.
but you might need to.
Wait.
I guess you can't. I don't think you can have it both ways, though. I think you might need to own that,
Yeah.
because if they're saying you shouldn't platform, he has horrible ideas, you could say, well, I have the same ideas, so I'm not platforming his ideas.
I don't think I have all the same ideas as
Well,
you though, but yeah,
I'm
the
not
ones that we talked about.
Wait.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Sure.
I'm saying if you just made it
Yeah.
more explicit of these aren't his ideas I'm platforming, they're my own. Like, I agree with
Yeah.
whatever. Like, if you just made it more explicit that I agree with this one, I don't agree with this one. Then the
Maybe,
conversation wouldn't be so much
but-
about me. It would just be like, oh, it would be about you and your beliefs.
Oh no.
Maybe.
I-
Then that's fair. Yeah, maybe I should have done that. But I just thought since it wasn't a debate, it was just an interview, and I guess I didn't really think about that. But yeah, it's something to
kind
think
of
Okay,
about
harm
in
do
the
we
future.
think-
Oh.
What kind of harm
Oh.
do we think the platforming, quote unquote, can lead to? Like, granting it's platforming, what kind of harm comes from it? Because I think the only thing we can say concretely is that it has the potential to lead to harmful interpretations, where somebody might feel legitimized in their pedophilia, or legitimized in their anti-consent ways, or legitimized in their transphobic thoughts, right? But the opposite can happen as well. It's an ambiguous take. So what harm do we think we can actually?
Well,
point
if
to
you
here?
if you think my take
Oh
is
my
that if a
goodness.
woman says no, it doesn't really mean no. Just like plow ahead and find out afterward.
No, I don't think that's what you said in the.
Oh, I know
conversation,
that's
by the
not
way.
what you think I said, but I'm saying that if somebody thought that, then that could lead to harm, especially if Stardust doesn't also think that. and then doesn't
so-
say anything
so-
about it.
Yeah.
So I think
And
I-
just to
if-
clarify, also, yesterday in my conversation with Merrick, I did say I do think that consent is complicated. You know, I don't think it's just what we say it is. So
I gave an example in my
Yeah.
chat yesterday where we were talking about your story, Mr. Girl, where you were like, you popped the boner and you were with this girl for the first time and she just like went in for it. And I was like, because you had this concept of like consent is boring. And I just feel like we're all such basement dwellers to think somebody asking to touch your dick is not hot, right? Like if somebody was like, can I help you with that? Or did something to imply consent, like that's not fucking boring. Like I'm all on board. Go for it. You know what I mean? I don't like how black and white this conversation is about consent and the idea that it just like ruins everything or makes things worse. I think that that's
No.
it makes things more it makes things more
Well,
boring. It doesn't
Yeah,
ruin
it's
it.
not
It doesn't ruin
it's
it.
not
It
just
adds an
affirmative
element of
consent, this
boringness.
I think it depends on how you.
failing to represent that. You're failing to represent an important position here. It isn't just about affirmative consent. There was a moment within that story that you tell that I've heard from people really does bother them, that there was pretty much a stranger, someone you've met from Tinder, who
Yes.
says, "No, I'm not ready. No, I'm not ready," or "No, I'm not into this,"
Yes.
and you ignore that perhaps because it is boring, especially when you meet someone for the first time.
Well, that wasn't
knowing-
my experience that I was ignoring it because I was boring. My experience was I was getting two messages. The one said no and one said yes, and I understood the one that said no to be part of the one that said yes. So
Can you
my
elaborate a little bit there?
yeah, I mean I can tell you the story again. She said I'm not ready, and then looked at me like she was waiting for me or daring me to do it anyway. And I was like, oh, you want me to ignore what you're saying and just do this anyway? I get it.
Yeah, okay. So do you not feel like a Tinder date or a first date or something is a bit too fucking early for like our play?
I wouldn't recommend it as a general rule. I mean, it's the only story I have like that.
Yeah, and I respect you for your openness and your honesty and
And
what
all
I've
the
said
other
about you
times
being-
that I didn't rape a woman, you gotta respect that.
Yeah, and I do. I've said it about you that you're either incredibly courageous or very dangerous, and I've yet to make my mind up. So
Okay.
I just
I
want
think
to
that
point out
there's
that
an-
that's not the best like thing to say. Like standing up in court, being like, "What about all the times I didn't rape?"
I mean, hey.
Right, but if I can
Wasn't
just
boring.
like if I can just you know interject here, like I think there is a large point. What I got away, what I like took away from that is that like we all do have the potential to to misread or to act in the moment in a wrong way. And there's probably more of you in chat who have done something where it's murky and you don't know that if you've pushed somebody's boundaries, you probably have at some point in your life. I'm not saying that you raped somebody, but you probably did push somebody's boundaries.
Yeah, but you're
I'm
you're
talking to Twitch chat. They're lucky to hold anyone's hand, Stardust.
but Stardust,
Wait,
you're
wait,
taking
wait,
Fair
wait.
point.
you're taking
I just
a
feel
Oh, sorry,
I
go
just
ahead.
feel like are you applying the same moral weight to sort of this universal notion of breaking people's boundaries as you are to rape? Are you applying the same moral weight there? Stardust.
Well, I don't know that that's really relevant, right? If we're
What?
talking about like pushing boundaries, right? Just specifically, like when it comes to like human communication, it's not always like easy to tell, right?
Okay,
The
I think
This is a very simple question. It's a very simple question. Do you apply the same moral weight to a universal idea of
I don't know what that
breaking
question
boundaries?
means.
okay, here, let me
Yeah.
Stardust.
Yeah,
if,
like I want to hear what. Okay, yeah.
if I may.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You've never said any of this shit before in public, right?
No, I haven't. And
Okay.
also, to be fair, I haven't really thought too deeply on it. But like,
Well, hey,
don't know.
before you
uh-huh,
let me say one thing.
uh-huh.
I think part of the problem is that, and I get feedback like this frequently from like audience people, that the stuff I'm saying resonates with you and you agree with it, but it's not something that you would say yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that when you're interviewing me, there is a question of, are you just doing this for clout and actually you don't believe what you're doing and you're just going along with it because you like want to be friends with Mr. Girl? Or do you just want like a good interview where he spills his guts to you and then you have all this crazy stuff? or is it actually resonating with you? And I think that my sense is it's resonating with you, but it's also, they're also not positions that you're super comfortable tearing into on your own. So like when he says like, well, like, okay, like then this idea could lead to rape, right? And then but then you sort of shift a little bit and say like, well, you know, everybody could have broken somebody's boundaries. And at the same time that you're agreeing with me, you're saying I agree with you, but I'm going to come out to here. I don't know if I want to go swimming all the way in the deep end. When Mr. Girl goes swimming all the way in the deep end, then I'll go with him. Do you get what I'm saying? And so it leaves you in this weird position where you're being asked to defend you believing things that I've said that you probably would not say yourself.
You're reading Mein Kampf on the train.
Yeah, I think that is true. I didn't reach out to you for clout. I didn't reach out to you for whatever, right? I reached out to you because I felt like some of the stuff you were saying was resonating with me, and the way that you talked about things really spoke to me. But I don't know that I agree with everything, but like for example, yeah, the consent one is something that I thought was a really interesting conversation, and I didn't really think about it that much before. But I think I do see where you're coming from with it. I haven't really explored the topic like 100%, so I don't feel like I should. I don't feel like I should have to defend that specific point necessarily.
I don't think.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think
yeah.
you should get. I don't think
Yeah.
you should engage with defending it. I think that you need to clarify just your stance on the conversation.
Yeah.
And I think that telling people,
Yeah.
if you tell people, I'm not sure if I agree with it 100%, but I think it was an interesting and valuable conversation, then they can't force you to try to defend things that I've said that you would never say. Because the only way to defend things that I say is to say more things that you would never say.
Although I do
Right.
think
So wait a minute. If I can just clarify, like I did try to do that in the beginning. That was what I tried to do. I tried to say like this was just a conversation that I reached out to him because I felt like I understood and kind of connected with him, and that was all it was supposed to be. Really, it wasn't meant to be this argument, right? But that still doesn't seem to be enough for people, and people want me to defend platforming you by defending every single point that you have, every single opinion that you hold. And I don't think that's right. I don't think I should have to do that.
Well, yeah, then I think... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think, and again, I haven't seen the interview, so I'm not going to comment on the contents there, but I do think that a lot of the criticism that you have received, Stardust, is about that you didn't, quote-unquote, push back against Mr. Girl's ideas. So to my knowledge, Mr. Girl has become fairly controversial. So I think people expected that you were going to make some sort of pushback against Mr. Girl and all of his ideas, no matter what they were.
I wasn't planning on doing that. That's why I labeled it as an
I'm not
interview.
saying that you should do that or shouldn't do that. I'm just saying that that was probably the expectation that some people came in there with.
Well, I think part of
why I really go for it, Mr. Girl.
I was going to say part of what we're all wrestling with is, we're not just talking about the issue. We're talking about how to talk about these issues, and like, is it okay to hear someone out and to feel ambiguous and to even if it's a controversial thing, to say like, well, I kind of agree, I don't really know, and I'm not going to put my foot down and take a stance there. I think even that in itself is another stance that maybe it would help if you were more clear, if you just said like, I'm not gonna defend myself, like I don't know, maybe it would cause harm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't really know.
It's not my job to prevent all harm arising from all conversations I have on stream.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier. I actually don't think I need to be responsible for every interpretation that somebody else is going to have based off of any word that comes out of my mouth or your mouth, right?
But then when you get furious at people for calling you irresponsible, it makes it seem like you think that you should be responsible and that you are are responsible, rather than just being like, yeah, maybe it is kind of irresponsible, but maybe you guys are pussies. Maybe we shouldn't be as responsible as you think we should be.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that people are pussies, and I don't think that we should have to be held to that standard.
Specific people in this call.
And this is what I've often thought as well, is that we basically have
maybe I
these
didn't communicate that, you know. Sorry.
We have these taboo subjects that lend to sort of like a veil of darkness regarding the subject, and we do know, as was mentioned earlier, that we've got offending pedophiles that are afraid to come out and pursue treatment. As long as there's that veil of darkness and we avoid these topics and we shun people who try to talk about them in more open ways, the longer that veil of darkness will remain and the more offenders are going to keep offending over and over again. So in a way, I kind of agree with Mr. Girl here. We need to stop being pussies about it, so to speak, and start actually broaching these very understandably difficult topics and say, hey, maybe this overwhelming silence is the problem, is a big contributor to the problem.
Okay, hold on. Wait. I have been the last person to get a fucking word in a while now.
Okay, enjoy.
So, number one, okay, I asked Stardust a very simple question, and every time I asked that question, 2 times, okay, she avoided the subject. Okay. Also,
no, I don't understand the question. I think
you
if you
don't
can clarify
understand
it
the
more.
question?
Yeah, like what do you mean by moral weight? I guess I don't really think
Okay.
about things like that. Yeah.
He's saying, is it worse to rape someone, or is it worse to eat somebody's sandwich that they were saving for later, or are they the same?
Of course it's worse to rape somebody.
Okay. Well, there's your answer.
Okay.
Rape bad.
Okay.
Wow. Holy shit, dude.
Fucking stunning and brave.
Okay, shut the fuck up. Okay, I'm getting sick of everyone chipping in with their little fucking bullshit comments. I don't give a shit, okay? Pragmatic Leftist, Mr. Girl, you know, Stardust, whatever, go ahead.
Yeah, if I can just again say, I think I tried to communicate those points, that I don't think we should be responsible for like every single viewer that we have. I personally will try, but I really don't think that I don't think that I hold any other creator responsible for every single viewer they have, and I don't really think it's fair to put this type of like responsibility on me. I should be able to interview who I want. And especially even if I don't like necessarily agree, why do I have to take a hard stance on everything? Especially if it's an interview. I've specifically like said so many times that this was an interview, it was not a debate. I would have labeled it as a debate if it were a debate, right? But I don't know that I necessarily agree with everything, but I also don't know if I necessarily disagree with certain things, right? I think I've said plenty of times, like, I don't think platforming him is bad, especially when I think that I like his content. I think that he does a really good job on his content. And while I may not agree on certain aspects, like some of the gender stuff or whatever, like I still, sorry. But well, I haven't finished watching the entire series. I'm like on part 4 or something.
Nice.
But like I still really appreciate his content, and I don't think that anybody else has the right to criticize me for who I have on my stream, especially when like there are a bunch of other creators who are going to have him on. I don't see any of them getting near the level of heat that I'm getting for this.
But
well, I think especially too when the interpretations are ambiguous, right? There's not like, oh, he is a pedophile and you platformed a pedophile, Stardust. It's you platform somebody who we might kind of think might be, yeah.
You took a risk.
So I think for the most part, like I don't care if people like criticizing me is fine, and giving me constructive criticism is totally fine. But like when I'm getting like when I have people simultaneously calling me a pedo and calling me a pedo sympathizer, and then on the other hand complaining about how other people are getting bombarded with like harassment online, it's a little bit irritating. It's hypocritical, and that's very irritating to me.
But so what kind of criticism would you appreciate? Because it does seem like you don't really...
Right. So, yeah, I appreciated like what like the insights again that like Mr. Girl just gave. I appreciated the insight about like that I've received from other people in my community, like, hey, this specific point here is probably what bothered a lot of people, in which you could have pushed back, right? I think there was something we mentioned collectively in this call earlier that I could have pushed back on a little bit. But yeah, I don't mind constructive criticism. It's just this, like, you can't platform him because he's a P word. And if you platform him, you're a P word sympathizer. I don't like that. That's not very nice.
People
So,
don't want
Okay.
softball interviews with controversial figures. So I think if like someone came in hot and grilled Mr. Girl on like everything and like watched all his videos and picked out all the tough takes and like tried to flesh out his opinion, I think it might be different. And they'll probably still be hungry for blood until people do that and get a satisfactory answer to all these things that people are questioning over.
I thought Vosh already did that.
Okay.
For 10 minutes or
I know, I'm
less.
just kidding.
You guys just
I'm
mess around.
So,
Yeah,
so
I'm
Mr.
just
Girl,
kidding.
I actually have a question for you because you mentioned earlier that you would be willing to talk to people like Nick Fuentes or anyone really.
Yeah.
So, is there anyone you wouldn't want to like platform or?
I don't think so. I don't think there's anyone that I would feel like.
Wow.
Yeah. I guess where my definition of platforming is, it's almost like a slur. Like we're saying you're platforming someone when you, for reasons of clout or just politeness or just being a wimp, are unequipped to make your own stances clear, or even if your stance is an ambivalence, like Stardust, and you're going to go along with and pretend you believe, and you're letting them use you as a mouthpiece. I think that's to me now what like platforming is coming to mean. So I don't think that I would do that. I think that, yeah, I'll talk to a white supremacist and put it on my channel or whatever, and if like they say stuff I don't agree with, I'll say that, and if they say stuff I do agree with, I'll say that.
Yeah, all right.
I don't think there's anyone I would rule out.
Cannibals.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Like, while you're being accused of while people are trying to deplatform you or not allow you a platform, is there any kind of speech or is there anything possible that you yourself would be in favor of censoring or not allowing a platform?
Yeah, doxing or death threats. All the stuff that's already illegal, I think should be illegal. There's nothing not protected by the First Amendment like that I think should be protected. I think it's pretty good where it is.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
Yeah, so
Is your goal is your goal, Mr. Girl, so my understanding of your goal as it is, as I've heard you state it, is to help people understand that we need to humanize everybody, so that we can lead to better outcomes for people who might be victimized by others or just in general, help to get people the help they need, right? Empathize in order to get help, right?
Yeah, and I also just think it's not, even if you're not one of the witches, I think bearing witness to a witch hunt or participating in a witch hunt is not exactly a like healthy thing. I don't think it's good for us. So
I think that take, though, is what people hear more from you. I feel like what I've heard more from you is how bad the left is, or Vosh is, for calling you a pedo, or doing this or doing that, how bad they are for categorizing you this way.
I don't think I've ever said that. I think you just made that up. I don't think I've ever said that.
I could have just made that up, but it sounds like before.
I don't think I have ever said Vosh is bad for calling me a pedophile.
Oh, fair. Okay. But if you thought that was unfair, or when you talked with other people, it seemed like you were kind of baffled as to how he might have arrived, or his audience might have arrived at that conclusion.
I don't think he believes it. That's my problem with it. Not that he's calling me. If he actually thinks I'm a pedophile, then that's fine. My problem is I don't think he actually thinks that. I think he's saying that.
What evidence do you have of that?
I just made it up.
Do you think that
he's
might
going
have
off of an inference?
Wait, we cut off Mr. Let him finish.
This is an inference. Do you not want me to make inferences?
Fine, just continue going.
Are inferences admissible or not, motherfucker? We can
Continue going.
Okay, so my inference is that Vosh does not actually believe I'm a pedophile, that he saw an opportunity in the moment to accomplish a few things. One, to escape the conversation because I was making him uncomfortable. Two, to make it, when you call someone else a pedophile, you call yourself less of a pedophile. I think that's pretty established now. And again, it's referred to as a great game of Among Us. So the more people you eject, the less suspicion there is onto you. And then 3, not only was I making him uncomfortable kind of interpersonally, I think that he got the sense that I was not going to be controlled in the conversation, and I don't think he likes that. So I think there was a multi-tiered thing, but I don't think any of it had to do with it. Okay, here's it's fucking obvious. This is why I think this. What age do you think Vosh thinks I was attracted to based on what I was saying in that conversation? If I'm a pedophile, what age is my primary attraction based on the strip club conversation?
You said 15, right? You said 15, so wouldn't he think that?
Okay, so what age did Vosh say is the most common age to be attracted to?
Wasn't it like 14 to 17? Didn't he give you a range?
Right. So he said most men are most attracted to 14 to 17.
Which is just pure conjecture.
Pure conjecture. So Vosh's worldview is that the most common age group to be attracted to is 14 to 17. So then how the fuck... Yeah. So if I'm attracted to a 15-year-old, how the fuck am I a pedophile?
Yeah. The thing for me... I wasn't trying to get to...
Well, no, I'm just answering the inference thing.
Saying. Okay, go for it.
Yeah, I'm just saying my inference is because if he thinks the normal average man is most attracted to 15-year-olds, it doesn't make sense for him to say that and then call me a pedophile because he thinks I'm attracted to 15-year-olds 5 seconds later.
But
I get what you're saying there, but the problem is, right, it seems like you're focused really hard on how people are interpreting you as opposed to just talking about the issues that you care about. Like, for example, it just feels like with the time you got arrested, right, you were saying, like, at
Wait
that
a
class,
second.
like,
Let me
I want to run a course, but go for it.
In this example, he was refusing to answer my question. He asked me to answer it instead, and I said, "Sure, I'll answer it." And then he said, "You sound like a pedophile." So I don't think it's I don't think it's very fair of you to say that I got distracted by how he was perceiving me when he stopped me to tell me that I sound like a pedophile.
Not what I mean. That's not what I mean. What I mean is when you go on Destiny's stream after you get the feedback from Twitter that you sound like a pedophile, that you sound like somebody who's advocating for pedophilic tendencies, right? Once you get that feedback and you recognize that feedback, that you then double down and just like say the same things, like why can't we say this? Why can't we do that, right? As opposed to adjusting your approach so that you come across as less like a pedophile. I think that's the big like weird part about how you come across.
Because I think the culture is wrong.
But didn't Vosh also?
In what way?
But didn't Vosh also talk about how our society has not been good enough at dealing with inappropriate?
Yes, we not discourage that base caveman instinct enough to socialize people to be healthily attracted to 40-year-olds, just like we all should be.
But like, so my point is that when he then says that people attracted to 15-year-olds are pedophiles or whatever, then that tracks with his point that we haven't been good enough at addressing those instincts from back in the day, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, that's fine. He could say the average man is a pedophile, but I think that takes away a lot of the bite of the word. When he's saying you're a pedophile, you sound like a pedophile, get off my stream, you fucking pedophile. If what he means is get off my stream, you perfectly normal average man with normal human sexuality, that I wish he would have clarified that, because that's not how it came off.
But I actually have another question for you about that. So you say that you don't think that he believes that you're a pedophile necessarily. So do you think that because you do think that you made him uncomfortable interpersonally in the conversation. So do you think that the way you made him uncomfortable might have led him to believe that you're a pedophile?
No.
All right.
It's what you talked about before. When it comes
to
violating social norms, like just violating the social norm itself is going to like set people off sometimes.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Yeah, but do you think if let's say we were to grab 30 random people on the street, we get them to watch the debate.
Okay. Let's get this going.
It's actually
I play for them the Vosh versus Mr. Girl debate. Do you think most people are going to think you're a pedophile, or they're going to think you're not one?
I don't know. I think a good
Really?
number.
Oh, come on. That's
Isn't that just tyranny of the majority?
You've been getting years and years of feedback on this. It's not just the pedophile stuff; it's the transphobe
We'll
stuff.
get
it's
into the
anti-consent
transphobia,
stuff,
school
it's the mass
shooting,
killer
rape,
stuff.
rats. Yeah, I
But
know, I know
that's the
I
thing,
know where
you've
you're going, and we're gonna go there.
You've
But
been
I
getting
want
this feedback for years, so
I
why
know.
not adjust your approach to the feedback and make sure people
I would
are
rather
understanding
adjust
you?
the world to me, and I'll explain why.
Okay, well, there's your problem. Like,
no, that's
the thing.
actually your problem because you're in the section that's getting adjusted, and I'm me. I'm gonna make it your
I just think if our
problem.
goal is actually to
If I
help
can-
people, then we should adjust to the feedback, right?
I
And
want to
make sure
answer
that we're
this
coming across
hypothetical.
that
I
way.
want to answer why I think this.
Go ahead.
The streamer has a unbelievable amount of power. Okay, so after I got arrested for accidentally threatening to shoot my classmates, I was invited on Yes.
Could you
I was going to
explain
make an
that?
edgy joke.
Accidentally.
It was a misunderstanding.
Implicitly.
I'm telling you, dude,
Implicitly.
it was the fluorescent lights comment. I'm telling you.
I know. I shouldn't
Nothing
have said that.
else.
Oh wait, no, sorry. This is I'm misremembering. This was after I got the school paper shut down with my Asians article.
Nice.
I have a question.
Oh,
It's a
God.
very.
Asians article.
I'm sorry,
What?
but you
Can we please
you
move
really
forward?
tickled my curiosity right now. How did you accidentally threaten your
We were talking about
classmates?
school shooters, and I did my typical Mr. Girl bullshit. And I said we should empathize with the school shooter to understand why this is happening so we can prevent it. And much like Vosh, the teacher said, and I'm trying to coin this, the teacher Voshed me. This is what you do. You see, you start a question tree, and like you could interpret what I said as an academic point, right? We need to empathize with problem solving. You could steer it in that direction, or you can say, does this mean that you have wanted to shoot people, Max? And then being me, I have to answer, well, yeah, I've thought about shooting people, but I've never actually considered doing it. And then the teacher says, oh, you've thought about, okay, so now we have a room full of people who think you're going to come in and shoot them on Thursday. And then of course I say,
sorry.
well, I'm not going to shoot them on Thursday. And it's this game
Gonna
of
do it on
chicken.
Friday.
And frankly, I'd rather go to fucking jail than say what you're telling me I'm supposed to say. And is that something that's wrong with me? No, but I see why you think it is. So
Okay.
If you see
So-
why they think it is, why
I'm
not
sorry,
adjust your
this is-
approach?
Okay,
Don't
right,
leave out the
shush, shush,
fluorescent
shush.
lighting. Don't leave out the fluorescent lighting. You know that that's
oh yeah, yeah.
the
She
sign.
said,
Wait,
"What
wait,
makes
wait,
you
wait,
angry
wait.
about school?" And I
Sounds
said
like a parody
I said the fluorescent lights. The next
Okay,
thing I
right,
know,
listen.
Get that
the next
read.
thing I
Sorry,
know,
no,
I'm
no,
in
no.
jail.
Shut the fuck up. Listen to me, you fucking idiots, okay? Shut the fuck up when I say shut the fuck up, okay? Pragmatic leftist, I want you to, because it feels like you want to challenge Mr. Girl on that. Please go ahead and do so.
Yeah. Okay. What about the school shooting stuff? I don't even know like how to. This is gonna sound terrible. Obviously you went through some terrible stuff, and I'm really sorry.
It's okay.
It just sounds like such an unreal situation. It really does. I'm actually like extreme. I'm sorry, Chad. I've nothing to say about that.
But
I have something to
I-
say.
I-
about
Wait.
this.
What
No,
sounds
wait.
like what do you mean an unreal situation? What does that mean?
Okay. This sounds really bad,
Blurt it out.
but it's
You'll get used to it.
okay.
Just
It
do
sounds like an edgy. It sounds like an edgy YouTube skit in a way. You know what I mean? It sounds like an edgy YouTube skit from like 2014. Like,
Yup.
you know, and like that's the problem I have. Does anybody else have that or not?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
I have a
don't.
separate problem. I have a separate problem.
What sounds like an edgy YouTube skit?
The whole thing where like you're talking to the teacher and you end up saying, yeah, there was a time I have thought about shooting my classmates before. It sounds like a very edgy like YouTube skit.
But what's the okay?
Mm.
So, and
That's the only observation I have about this.
oh,
You were
okay.
answering
I-
honestly,
I-
right? You claim you're answering honestly,
Yeah.
right? But then you say you see why they can have the interpretation that you might come in and shoot them. So if you can see why they have the interpretation,
No,
got
I
your
don't see.
answer.
I don't
You
see.
know-
I don't see that. That's what I'm saying.
you
This
quote word for word just before we interrupted there said, "I see why they think that." What
no,
did you mean when
no,
you said
no.
that?
I meant you specifically. I see why you think the fact that I would rather go to jail than say what I'm supposed to say. What the teacher is using social pressure institutional pressure, and even legal pressure, saying if you don't answer this question in the humble way, if you don't back away from this point that I know is an intellectual point, but I'm going to force you into this corner where I'm making you look like a psychopath. If you don't cave, men with guns are going to come put handcuffs on you and put you in a fucking cell. If you don't say the right thing that I'm telling you to say right now.
You're straying from here. You're straying from academic and abstract speech to threats of violence.
No. I'm not straying from it because I said we need to empathize with school shooters. I said that those of you who are saying that you've never thought about shooting people are lying.
I've never thought about shooting people.
Especially me being an Australian.
I just don't believe you.
I
advocated for a similar position to you in a college class before. You don't believe that I've never thought about engaging in a mass shooting. You don't believe that.
What do you mean by? Have you ever played Have you ever played Call of Duty or watched an action movie?
No, I know the problem.
Yes.
I know the problem.
Okay.
Just hold on. I know the problem. I think LMF is not American, I don't think, and neither am I. And you have to understand, for people who are outside of America,
that's not
we
what
don't have big gun cultures.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you've played Call of Duty, you've thought about shooting people.
No, those aren't humans. Those are representations of humans.
Yes, just like in a thought.
How
It
about
doesn't matter.
this?
When you think about doing something, you're not actually doing it, and when you play a video game, you're not actually doing it.
Yeah,
Right.
that's fine.
So we've all
If
thought
it's- I'm
about
not talking
flying. We've all thought about punching someone in
We've
the
all
face.
had okay.
We've all had violent
How
thoughts.
about this?
Let's say
We've all
right
had
now,
dark thoughts.
right now I'm thinking about doing a mass shooter. That's not on the basis on which that I judge you. That's thought crime. Not interested in that. But you don't go. It's not thought anymore. You're expressing it. The biggest problem that I have with you is you're mixing abstract, provocative thought and academic thought with personal examples of yourself. This is my one biggest problem with you. That you're
Can I just
throwing
explain that?
Right.
This
So
is what I think Mr. Gould does. I think you do like almost exposure therapy to edgy thoughts by using humor, and I think you get away with a lot because you make people laugh. It lets you push the boundaries a little bit, and I think you're trying to push the boundaries and make people a little bit uncomfortable because we are so overprotective on so many issues and like unwilling to entertain some of these dark thoughts that you want to.
in the class, this is the day after the biggest mass shooting in U.S. history. One by one, every single one of them, and I'm not trying to convince you that I'm right. I just want you to understand why. If you want to think that I'm doing whatever you think I'm doing, that's fine. I just want to tell you what I think because you sort of asked. One by one, each one of my classmates is going in a circle and saying, well, this is unfathomable to me. I can't imagine why anybody would do such a thing. And then the next person, this is unfathomable to me. Oh my gosh, this is so shocking. I'm so surprised. And the teacher had tasked us with having a productive discussion. Just say what you think. Let's talk about this because we can't talk about our normal class topics today because this is on everybody's minds. Let's talk about this. And it is infuriating to me because they are doing what you just said I do. They are intermixing their own personal experience, except it's the safe personal experience to say, I'm not a pedophile. I'm not a mass shooter. I'm not a rapist. I'm a normal person who doesn't understand such things. And it's further infuriating to me when I was a psych major, thinking that the only way that we can stop these mass shootings from occurring, because they are hard to predict and there's too many guns on the streets to stop them. There's no other way to stop them, I think, other than understanding them and understanding the patterns that they follow and understanding why they're happening. So to watch people go around in a circle proclaiming their own purity.
That wasn't what I was doing. I didn't say I can't understand why.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about my classmates. This is. I do also think this is what you were doing, but it's fine if you don't agree with
it. It isn't what I was doing.
I understand that nobody thinks they're doing. No one ever thinks they are proclaiming their own purity.
No,
Coop, can you let him clarify, dog? Coop, can you let him clarify for real?
Me?
Yeah, just let him speak. Let him speak.
He's making an accusation.
Coop, do it after. Do it after. Do it after.
After.
Wait, I don't. Who's?
We're asking for
everyone,
you,
shut the
Mr.
fuck up.
Girl,
Go,
to
go.
finish.
Go on.
Okay. So in my view, they are doing what you're saying that I'm doing, of suddenly using a personal example in a hypothetical or academic conversation where it doesn't make sense to do it, but you just casually slip it in like, well, I'm above actually thinking about this. And to me, you're saying you're above engaging with it, which means you're above solving the fucking problem. Right after 32 people have been murdered, the first thing you are thinking about is fucking looking pure. So, it's so pure that we can't even address the problem or start to talk about how to solve it. So
I don't think that's what they were doing. I think in the immediate aftermath, they were probably trying to console each other. I just look. I think that's like a scary situation where everybody's on edge. Some crazy shit just went down. They feel vulnerable, and I think they were trying to like reach peace with each other and just like reinforce and like this is a safe space. And like I don't
it's
know.
not.
Yeah,
It's not a safe space.
I like what you do. I just want to say, like overall, I really like what you do. But in the immediate aftermath, you can see how they might be on edge and thrown off by someone not giving them time to adapt to it, and then maybe start to seek some kind of solution-oriented approach.
I did something similar to you.
Wait,
Mr.
shut
Girl,
up, shut
because-
up, shut the fuck
All right,
up.
my bad,
Okay?
Shud.
Okay.
Look, I just don't want to pile on point after point after point. Okay, give
So-
Mr. Go a
Makes
chance to
sense.
respond,
I
and then we can go from there. Go.
I said anybody who says they've never thought about shooting 32 people is lying. None of us, and I was being hyperbolic slightly about the 32 part, but none of us in here, when someone carries out a mass shooting, actually doesn't understand it. That's just not true. We know that the bullied kid, we know what it's like to be bullied, we know what it's like to be mad, we know what it's like to want revenge, we know what it's like to play Call of Duty. It doesn't take a lot of fucking mental gymnastics to put them together and think, I get why somebody who was bullied by their peers would bring a gun to school and shoot their classmates. And for me, it's not comforting to me in an academic setting for the first thing you say to be that you don't understand that. And I may just be different from the average person, certainly different from the average person in that classroom, and that I didn't find it comforting. I found it fucking horrifying. And then I do think a lot of responsibility falls on the teacher, or the Vosh in this analogy, who leads you down a path of saying, well, are you willing to say this? Or do you see now that you've gone too far? Are you willing to say this? And feeding you a diet of bullets and saying, you're going to bite this bullet, you're going to bite this bullet, and then I'll bite them all. I'll go to jail. I don't fucking care. There's nothing you can do or say to me that's going to make me sit here and say, yes, we should all go around in a circle and say that we don't understand what happened. That's the productive thing to do. And I agree that it's comforting to people to do that, but I think it's wrong.
So when it comes to...
So I've been in the same position as you before. I was in a class during the Boston bombing, and I was in the class saying we should probably try to understand the mindset that this kid was in. And it was a critical reasoning discussion about like whether or not we should like punish him with capital punishment, right? But the thing is, when I started to make that position clear to people that I believed that we should have some empathy towards him, obviously people were coming back at me with like sideways eyes and just kind of not really understanding. So I boiled it back and dialed in my approach, and they started to get me. I wasn't sitting there doubling down, being like, no, like, listen, you guys, he's not a monster, and to the point where I'm going to get arrested. So like, if your point is really let's empathize, why would you go that hard? And not only just do it in this one instance of the mass murder, it happens in most of the controversies you find yourself in. It suggests that fighting the optics war is the point, not actually building advocacy for the monsters that we think we have in society, quote unquote monsters that we believe we have, right? Who are really humans.
Sure. I want to point something out also. You said you believed it was important to show empathy for the shooter. Did you? No, not Eurozone, Mr. Girl. Do you also think, however, it was important to show empathy for the victims?
That's very
because
easy.
I think that's what a lot of people. Wait, when a lot of people heard you and what you said. Wait, please let me finish. A lot of people heard what you said. I think the interpretation of your words is that you weren't having empathy like with the victims.
Yeah, that could be their interpretation. Nobody asked me that.
He's saying there's already so many people expressing empathy for the victims. Him and Rhizome are saying maybe we should understand it instead.
Yes, I'm saying that that's not going to lead us to a solution. Like, guys, how much would it suck to be shot or traumatized by watching your classmates get shot? Like, it would suck. But that thinking about that, is not. Yes, everybody's already thinking about it, and especially when I feel like the only reason that people are saying it after a certain point is to make themselves look good, then I find it very distasteful.
No.
So
Why
okay,
make
wait.
that
Can I
point at that
interject
time?
really quick? Just really quick.
Wait.
I think.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
I think that. Sorry. I think that there's I think that what he's trying to say is maybe it's not like we've. What have you ever thought about what it would take to get you to that point? Because I think that might be like, I think when you phrase it that way, more people seem to understand it, right? What would it take to bring you to that point
I think she would
that
have
you would
probably
do
said
that?
the same thing, but possibly. It would have got. I mean, yeah, easier than what I said for sure.
Oh, well, I'm not critiquing you. I'm just trying to make maybe like maybe make more people understand, right? Like when you phrase it like, what would it take for you to be pushed to the edge like that, right? I feel like we've all wondered, like, what would it take for me to be pushed so much to the edge that I'd commit some horrible crime?
So
Well,
I actually have
Wait, shut
Yeah.
up.
I haven't talked
please.
in like forever.
Okay, what's going on though?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm a bit confused. What's the situation?
We're
Okay.
talking about the school shooting thing still.
Okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
Lord Sathar. I let the tiger out the cage. I'm sorry. Go on.
That's all right. So I actually think that there is a valuable point in sort of understanding why mass shooters do what they do. So for anyone in chat that came in via the raid from Destiny, I'm a Norwegian, and back in 2011 we had a terror attack that was fairly well known all over the world. A guy went out to an island and he killed 69, I think it was actually 69 young people, young political activists, and he killed a bunch of people in a bombing as well. A bunch of these people were my friends, and that fucking sucked. Now, what happened in the aftermath of that is that we did not have any discussion in our society, in the Norwegian society, of how he actually managed to get to that point. Anytime the political youth organization tried to bring that up, they always were told that, oh, you guys are only using this to like appear as victims. So they actually tried to get this conversation up and going, but they were not allowed to by their political what's the word I'm looking for? Not enemy, political opponents. And now, 10 years after, we haven't been able to actually deal with the extremism that fueled this man, because that conversation were never actually had in our society. So I do think that there is a value to saying that, hey, maybe we should try to understand what makes people tick in that way.
Yeah, I was going to say much the same thing, in that there is a well-established pattern of a obvious atrocity happens, and there is there's a reaction that is very much to, I wouldn't use the same words that Mr. Girl is using, like I don't, sure, there's going to be some virtue signaling and stuff, and moral signaling, but overall there's a readiness for everyone to just take the shooter as a monster who is without reason, and that there can't be any explanation as to what brought them to that. Oftentimes they're labeled as being crazy and being mentally unstable, and a bunch of other labels will be used, right? They'll be called incels, they'll be called alt-right, and all these different things. And many of those accusations may be correct. It detracts from understanding how did they get to that point. So I think a lot of the I think a lot of the reactions are understandable, but it is defeating the ability to walk through the conditions that created the quote monster. And that's one thing I do appreciate about Mr. Gold, though I do not watch your content, admittedly. But from what I have seen, you seem to be willing to unpack these taboo things that most people would very quickly slap a label on and forget about the fact that there's something underneath that label that makes it tick.
Okay, wait. I want to say something if I could. Mr. Girl, do you at least... I want to bring it back to something. Mr. Girl, do you at least understand that optically, at least showing that you have compassion for the victims means that people are more likely to hear and be more receptive to the idea of having compassion for the shooter?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
But I think the lens is wrong. So, yes, but I don't want to play by that rule because I think the rule is wrong.
No, but the problem is that what good are you doing if you aren't advocating these ideas in a way that is receptive to the general public? Like,
I mean, what?
Like, the problem is people who want to change have a lot of them at least have understood this principle of, like, you need to somewhat be optically good in order for the public to be receptive to those ideas.
I don't think that every short-term optics loss is a... I think the part of the problem is that the thing I'm fighting against is the optics. So I can't... You're saying
What?
just go and...
At least you admit it.
Yeah, the thing I'm protesting against is the optics. I'm saying your desire to make yourself look good is prohibiting you from being able to have a real conversation about mass shootings. And the day after a mass shooting, you might find is a distasteful time to have what I'm considering a real conversation. I find it distasteful that the day after a mass shooting, you're taking that time to worry about your optics. So my problem is that I can't just play by the rules to, like, yes, I know how to... I'm not autistic. Like, I am pretty socially...
Oh, that's okay, I am.
Sorry. Can we... Sorry. I just want to confirm, Mr. Gill, because this has been a subject of much debate.
Yes.
How can we confirm this? Have you done a test or been looked over? Or do you play League of Legends? Like, how can we establish this?
I don't play League of Legends. I have had a psych evaluation, and I don't have any of the symptoms of autism.
Okay, fair enough.
So,
Right,
like,
so your goal...
I'm breaking social rule. I'm hyper aware of social rules. I can play by the rules. I'm great in interviews. I have a job. I have an office job. I talk to people all day. I talk to people on the phone all day, and no one ever has any idea that then in the evening I'm doing this.
So fighting the optics is more important than creating an empathetic world where we humanize with people who we consider monsters right now.
No.
That could be a long-term goal.
I'm saying that the optics are...
I don't understand this idea.
I'm saying the optics are preventing us from empathizing with each other and ourselves.
But if you only ever fight the optic war, then people are just going to think that you're fighting a war where you're fighting a crusade against people trying to build an empathetic world.
Can I ask Mr. Girl?
The difference is, I think the difference is, like, the idea of, like, virtue signaling versus, like, just, I guess, saying what he really means, right?
Honestly,
He admitted he's fighting the optics more than anything else.
No, I'm saying...
No, I think if you were fighting the optics, he
I would just pull my pants
trying
down.
to be optically.
I would just pull my pants
down. Wait. I need to ask Stardust a question. Stardust, do you think every time that in every circumstance virtue signaling is bad? Because I would say there are times that virtue signaling could be a net positive, right? Maybe you don't actually have sympathy for, like, the victims of a mass shooting. Like, I don't think that every single politician probably has sympathy for the victims of a mass shooting, but they say it. Why? Because there's a net social good to saying that type of stuff.
Of course we have empathy, but I see
not
where...
everyone.
The politician's job is not to figure out what the mass shooter was thinking. It's not their role.
Yeah, let's start us respond.
Is it society's job?
Can we stop being
Yes.
Liz, can we stop being fucking sexist right now? Okay, I'm not going to stand for that on my channel. No more misogyny.
Never.
Any misogyny. Stardust.
Only
go ahead.
racism.
Racism only. Stardust. Go on.
Yeah. Well, you still haven't earned back slur privilege, Chud. So I
True.
just want
We'll
you to
see
know
about that. Just fucking say something.
Hey, Chud, I
Mm,
give you
okay.
one pass, okay? One pass. One.
Excellent. Good shit.
Yeah, he used to have
Got
all
your back.
passes. Anyways, so I think what I'm understanding from this is that a politician, yes, of course you want to say that you empathize with like the victims. Of course you do as a politician. We're not politicians here, right? I don't see why I should have to do the job of a politician. I don't see why anybody else here has to do the job of a politician. I'm not running for office. And secondly, I think that what he's trying to do is like cut through the bullshit. We all know that we empathize with the victims. Like, how can you not? You see the aftermath of this on TV, in the newspapers. You see parents crying, right? But what you don't see is people thinking, like, what would it take for any of us to be pushed so hard that we would commit an act like that?
Okay. Hold on. So, Stardust, you said we're not politicians, but, and I've asked this question several times to several people on this panel. If a normal person was to rock up, right, into any of these streams, and we decided we're like not going to play any optics wars anymore, sorry, I'm not going to play like the optics game anymore, we would never win any new people over.
I disagree.
Really?
Isn't that
Yeah.
exactly what Mr. Girl's doing?
I
He's not
think
putting-
I
No,
think what
Mr.
won
Girl
me
has not.
over.
Wait, you believe
I
that
think
the
what
mass
won me
majority...
over was somebody like cutting through the bullshit. Like that
Okay.
wins me over. I think a lot of people are tired of fake virtue signaling, basically.
Yeah, true.
Really?
It's gone overboard. Yeah.
They're ready.
Really?
They're
Okay.
ready for
Okay,
a change.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
hang on.
No.
Wait.
You have to apply to politicians because the problem is I can't wait for a presidential candidate to win on saying "fuck school children who were shot." Okay.
I mean,
I
what did
can't
Trump
wait
do?
for that person to win.
Yeah,
You
we
think
just had
Trump
somebody
won
win
on
on grabbing
optics?
pussies.
Yeah.
All right.
What kind of optics
Yeah.
is grabbing
He won.
pussies
Wow.
or calling all
That's why
Mexicans
he won.
rapists?
People are tired
He
of it.
won
That's
over
why he
that.
won. And comedy is dead because of the over virtue signaling and like the taboos on everything that like comedy used to be funny because of. Like, I mean, this shit is invading everything.
I don't want to say that I'm anti-optics. That's not what I mean. I'm saying that the optics values that people often play by, I think they're wrong. So I have my own optics values. I don't want to be seen as a liar. I don't want to be seen, especially after the pedo shit. Like, if I'm going to talk about this shit and then say like, yeah, I've never abused a child and that's wrong, I would be destroyed if any of the stuff I'm going murkily near, I haven't fully disclosed everything about myself, right? So I do care about optics. I just care about different optics. To me, I would rather be, I mean, like I said, I would rather go to jail than have my classmates see me say, oh my gosh, this is just terrible. That's what I have to contribute to the conversation. What do you think?
I don't think it's one or the other. I don't think you have to go to jail or make that point. I think you can just say the point in a less aggressive manner and be like, listen, guys, like, I think this person
Who says
is human.
he said it in an aggressive manner, though?
Well, saying anybody who says they've never thought about shooting 32 people is lying.
Got arrested.
Well, you can get arrested
No,
without
but
doing anything
arrest
wrong.
doesn't mean that that's aggressive, right?
It
He
means
just
people
made
were
a
threatened
comment
by
that
it, so
people didn't.
I'll change it to threatened. You can say it in a
Okay.
less threatening manner.
Well, here,
right? And you
okay,
can
but
just-
there's part of the story I've not told.
Oh, oh.
Ooh.
The person who called the police on me was not there. It was the head of the women's studies department.
Who was acting on orders from people who were there, right?
No.
She just didn't like his Asians article.
She just didn't like my newsletter. And after I got arrested, she drove her car around in circles in the parking lot, shouting, "We got his ass."
Wow.
So
Alright,
we can't
dude.
exactly.
Okay, dude.
Nice woman.
We
Alright,
can't
it's
exactly.
real. I actually have to go because I'm going to work tomorrow. But it
Okay.
was wonderful to talk to all of you. Judd, you are
Thank
my
you.
best boy from the English Isles. Stardust,
Worries.
don't let the haters get you. You're awesome. Mr. Girl, you are not as bad as I thought you were.
Thanks.
At least not in this combo.
Thank you.
Uh-oh, we've converted someone.
And Rizobin, you have a
Can I
lovely cat.
clarify something
you.
really quick? I just want to make
Wait.
sure people understand
Wait,
why.
wait. He hasn't finished.
Wait,
Oh,
sorry. I just want to say Lord Sather before you go. Shout yourself out, mate.
Yeah, it's at Lord Sather, and I'm also Lord Sather here on Twitch. Thank you so much for having me on, and people, I love you all.
Yep.
Have a
All
good
the best,
night.
You too, dude. See ya.
One more
I just-
convert, guys. One more convert.
That's it. So
I
that's
just
it.
wanted to clarify, like, you guys understand why I found it incredibly irritating, this whole like thing, right? Like this whole like it's these general statements of like you shouldn't platform somebody, but like, well, first off, I don't like people telling me what to do, so that already bothered me. But but there was like no specificity when it came to it. It was like you agreed too much, but about what, right?
You're getting undue
So I
hate
don't
for
know.
sure, Stardust. You're getting undue hate, in my opinion, for sure.
Thank you.
Hey everyone.
Right. Okay,
up,
so I
Dario?
just want to introduce one of my oldest friends from the space, Dario Rahim. He trained me in my racism from a very early time, so I appreciate that. Thank you. Taught me
We have a
some,
lot of discussions in private about that.
Yeah, for sure. So I believe you've got, well, in fact, Mr. Girl, you may remember Dario.
Yeah,
because he
yeah.
called you stupid on Twitter.
Yes. Are you called? Well, you said
True.
pretty dumb. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, so full disclosure for people watching, I got to know Mr. Girl because I made a tweet where I said I think he's pretty dumb. So yeah.
Here we are.
Right. Throw it over to
Here
you,
we are.
Dario. Go ahead.
Do you stand by that statement?
Yeah. Good question.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe I guess I'll amend it a little bit. And I guess I don't think it's fair to call people dumb without knowing a lot about them.
You weren't saying it
and
to my face.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was just saying it on a public platform, but I stand by, I guess, sort of the meaning that I was trying to convey. And again, also to be fair, I did offer you to talk about this in private, Mr. Girl.
Yes.
And we can still do so if you want. But I guess maybe I'll just give like a brief introduction to what I actually wanted to talk about, which is that I don't think, or it doesn't seem to me from sort of the discussions that you've had with people like Destiny and specifically with Rose Wrist as well, that you have thought a lot about the points that you're trying to bring up, and you're sort of just asking people questions, and you don't also seem very interested in sort of delving deeper into those points. You just want to sort of state them, and then let people know these are your positions on things. But it seems like whenever people try to push you on that, you either accuse them of trying to debate you, which you don't want to, or you sort of step away from it by saying something like, or saying like a thought terminating cliche of some sorts.
Yeah.
An example.
I was gonna say that's mostly true. It's not true that I haven't thought about my positions. I can see why it seems that way, because I don't want to expose myself to the forging fires of debate. I don't think debate is very useful.
Well, useful for what? So I will agree with you that I don't think debate is necessarily useful for bringing people over to your side. I do agree with you with that. But I do think debate is very useful internally for ourselves to sort of challenge our positions and make sure that we hold sort of the best version of our arguments for ourselves. That's why I engage in debate, right? I have no delusions about bringing people over to my side or like changing their minds, but I do think it's important for myself, because I want to be honest to myself. I want to have people who challenge me on my ideas through debate or through like challenging sort of responses or arguments to my ideas, because I think that's important for like self-growth.
Okay, yeah. So I think my goal in these conversations and kind of like overall is more to get people to empathize with me and my feelings and then my beliefs and why I believe what I believe and how I see things, and to kind of look through each other's eyes. And so, like with Rose Wrist, I wanted to do that, and we kind of agreed we wouldn't debate before, but then he definitely started debating me on the stream, and I said, like, I don't want to debate you. Because
Sure. Just to address that, because you told me that as well on Twitter. Yeah. I think there might have been, it's because I listened to the entire debate, and I don't think it's a productive place to do it now, but I actually have notes like going almost line by line for like stuff that I think you should think about from that debate.
Okay.
Or like that talk. But I think one of the things that Rose said in the start was that he isn't necessarily trying to do a debate, right? He's just trying to have a discussion about the ideas that you're presenting. And I think calling it a debate of sorts, right? There's just a disagreement about what
he put debate in the title of the stream. And to me, I think he went full debate, bro. That was my impression, that he was going full.
But saying going full debate, bro, is a meme in itself, right? I mean, it's not really a meaningful statement, like saying going debate, bro. It's just like he's trying to
the way you're communicating with me right now, the way that you were responding to everything I'm saying, I would say is full debate, bro. So you started out and you said a bunch of stuff, and I said, well, I don't quite agree with you, but I can see what you're saying. So that's kind of the more communication style that I espouse and that I'm looking for when I say I don't want to debate, and kind of what my channel is trying to do. I'm not trying to make anybody come in and say, you're stupid. I'm going to cut your ideas down. I'm going to dismantle them. It's more I'm going to say, I get your ideas. I get your ideas. I get your ideas. But I want to show you my ideas. And then, like, if you... not for the purpose of showing you that they're superior, just that they're either different or maybe you'll resonate them or whatever. I'm not as interested in a winner and loser. And I don't think I'm bad at debating. I think I'm okay at it, and sometimes maybe good at it, but I don't want to win a debate either. And I definitely don't want to lose a debate.
I think winning a debate, the question about what is winning a debate, right? So for me, winning in a debate or like in a discussion is just understanding what the other person is saying and strengthening my own position, or understanding or changing my own position to fit more in line with what they're saying, right? That's what I consider to be winning a debate, right? I don't want to dunk on people. I don't want to destroy people. And I don't think Rose was trying to do that to you, right? He was just trying to understand where you're coming from, and then trying to, in good faith, engage with the points that you're making.
The point you are trying to prove right now with argumentation is that I have not thought through my own positions, and that I am and more so that when I'm pressed on those positions, I flee by disingenuously claiming that I don't want to debate, but really it's because I don't know what I'm talking about. So you can see how if you were able to convince me of that, or convince the viewers of that, you would definitely win this exchange that we're having, which has become a debate.
No. Well, no, not necessarily, right? So you almost had it, but not entirely, right? So it's a bit more nuanced than that. I'm not saying that you haven't thought about your positions, right? Necessarily.
You said
what
very
I'm just
much.
Saying
you
is,
said I haven't thought about them very much.
Yeah. Sure. What I'm trying to say is,
okay,
when you engage in conversation in the way that you do, you come off as not having thought about your positions much, right? Because you don't respond well to pushback, as I don't believe you're doing right now.
I'm gonna dip out, you guys. I just wanted to mention. So it was nice talking.
Nice talking to you.
Mr. Girl, if I shoot you a DM, would you talk more?
Yes.
Sounds good.
Nice to meet you, Rhizome.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, nice
Talk
to
to you later.
Nice
Glad
to
that it was
meet
a
you.
little more reasonable than I believed it was. That was actually pretty sweet. Take it easy, guys.
You too.
You too.
See, this irresponsible platforming is very effective, guys.
I know, it's crazy. Am I not handling
this?
Never
platform me. Only Chud does that.
How do you think I'm not handling it well that you're pushing back on me right now?
Sure. So the reason why I don't think that is because you're reverting to saying I'm being debate bro against you, right? You're sort of attacking my character and sort of kind of making fun of me, right? When the only thing that I'm trying to convey is just that I think you would do better for yourself to just engage more with what people are saying rather than just dismiss what they're saying.
It's not. Yeah, I don't mean to attack you by saying you're communicating like a debate bro. I just mean that the goal of the things you are saying is to sort of dismantle what I'm saying.
I don't think so. Right?
Well, you started out
goal
calling
of
me. I mean, the whole root of the conversation is you called me dumb, and then you're saying I don't know what I'm talking about, and then you're saying that I'm basically I'm an intellectual coward. So all that's very like discrediting. And then if I say like, well, no, I think I actually just like to communicate in a less combative way. Ironically, because and maybe this is because some of the stuff I say is very provocative and it does evoke a lot of anger and I guess a strong urge to disagree with me. I try to pair it with a more like, okay, well, let's just you say what you think and I'll say what I think and we'll try to understand each other. It's just a much more fuzzy and warm method of communication where I feel like Rose Wrist, despite sort of agreeing to communicate that way beforehand, it felt like he ended up trying to tear apart my arguments, which it feels like you're doing now. And that is a valid style of communicating. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I just don't like it that much.
Sure. So I'm sorry if it comes off as an attack. Obviously, you don't know much about me, right? But I guess maybe Chud can speak to this, right? I am in no means shy of going for controversial topics. Done so many times in the past. I don't actually mind any of the conversation that you're having or like the topics that you breach, right? That's not my issue at all.
Well, I understand.
And when I say you're making, again, I call you dumb in the context of what I was meaning, and I tried to explain this as well, right? And I also, you could even say I walked it back, right? I said, I think the way that you're communicating or the points that you're making aren't very intelligent points. They're very surface level. So that's what I'm trying to communicate to you is that I'm saying
that's not that different from calling me dumb. I don't think that's a walk back. I'm saying that I would never start a conversation with somebody by telling them that I don't think the points they're making, except maybe Shaylin, by telling them that the points they're making are surface level and that they're dumb. To me, calling somebody dumb is something I only do with my girlfriend. It's like you're spanking me. I don't think it's productive. I don't think we know each other well enough for that amount of combat, and I think it just leads to a intellectual pissing contest of who's better at coming up with arguments super quick on the fly under pressure with hundreds or possibly thousands of people watching, it's just a blood sport. It's like boxing, and I think it's actually removed from the content of what we're talking about. And if I start talking really fast like Destiny, it becomes harder and harder to keep up with what I'm saying, and I can kind of just throw these rights and lefts at you, and it's going to make your head spin around. And I go full Ben Shapiro or whatever. I don't like it. I just don't want to do it. I think it's much better for us to try to connect in a more intimate, emotional way. So to me, my interview with Stardust was great because I did go into what I think behind all of the crazy claims and out of context statements that I've been making that people are hearing, and we were able to open up and make room for what each other, because a lot of the ideas I'm talking about are more than even nuanced. They're like sort of like ethereal. They're like there's so many moving parts that they're more just like lenses. Like there's no actual truth of what percentage of people are pedophiles. It's made up. There's no actual truth about gender. And there's no actual truth. It's just different ways of seeing the world. And so if I'm trying to say, hey, Dario, look through this beautiful lens I've constructed, maybe you'll see something different if you look through it. That's what I try to do with my videos. I want each of them to be like a prism. And then as soon as I take it out, you start deconstructing it. I'm like, you're not looking. You're not looking. Sure. It's like I'm showing you a movie I like and you're texting through it and saying you don't like it. And I'm like, you gotta get some popcorn, put your feet up, like relax, man. And you're like, okay, well, it's dumb.
So my issue right now is that you're making a lot of assumptions about me, right? You're making a lot of assumptions about me not understanding what you're saying or like not looking through the prism, right? While I did take a lot of time to actually review all of the content that you've put out in terms of like these talks you had with people, I've watched like maybe 12, 14 hours of content with you, right? And I've even written down a lot of your ideas, right? So I do believe that I understand where you're coming from and what you're trying to do, which is also why I actually don't think you are dumb. Right? I
Wow.
don't think you're a dumb person.
Okay.
What I think is that I think you don't like going in depth with some of the ideas, and I think it would serve you good to do so. Because I do think when you think about it, you have the ability to make good points. You just don't give people the opportunity to probe into those points because, I don't know, maybe you don't think it's going to turn out well for you or something.
I see why you think that. I understand. I'm not saying you're not looking through the prism in the sense that you aren't willing to think hard about these topics. I'm saying that the communication style is not look into my beautiful eyes and see my soul, and I'll look into your beautiful eyes and see yours. It's more like combat. And so
what color are
He
your
wants to
eyes?
find the flaws.
They're brown.
Brown, okay.
Yeah. Kind of a light
Dario,
brown.
is it fair
Not my
to say?
favorite.
Is it fair to say you think he's doing harm with some of the things he says, and if not, like shutting down the conversation, you want to change the way he talks about it to do less harm?
No, I don't think he's doing harm. I'm not even coming at it from the point of like I think he's being harmful to the Discord. Like, I'm not going through any of that. I'm just saying when he speaks to people who I believe are coming in good faith, like Rose Wrist, right? I believe that he does himself a disservice and to the potential audience that follow him, right, a disservice by not engaging more with the questions and thinking about them and maybe even thinking about optics too much, right? Because it feels to me, and again, this might be wrong, right? But it feels to me as you are afraid of admitting that someone might make you think about something that you didn't think about before, or that you have to change your mind, or like just telling people, hey, maybe I didn't think about this too much. I'll think about it some more and give you some other arguments or whatever, right?
I've never
you
gotten
keep reverting
somebody.
back to the prism thing,
Yes,
or like
yes, that's my
you're not
thing.
looking from my perspective.
I've never gotten someone to change their views by making them feel dumb. I used to be like that. I used to agree, think more like the way that you're saying you think, or the way that you communicate. I used to be more like that. And I don't think it works that well. I think it makes you look smart, and it makes other people think look stupid. It's like Vosh. Like I don't want to communicate like that. I don't think it's a good way to communicate.
Do you think that I'm bringing up points in order to make you feel dumb right now, or did I just say I think the points that you made earlier, you do yourself a disservice because you sound dumber than I think you are.
Even
right. So when
question,
Bosch talked to
even
you,
this question is like everything you're saying is some kind of like, well, did you mean this, or do you think maybe you think that, maybe you don't think what you just said. I don't like to talk like that.
And before we loop on this particular thing infinitely, because I think neither of you are going to agree, I think it's fair to say that if you're not wanting to get into a debate, it's very hard to get out of that discussion if the other person won't dial it back from debate to discussion. So no matter what you do, when you try to disengage, you're going to look kind of weak, right? Because
that's what's happening to me now. I have to just acknowledge that I'm going to look weak, and I'm going to say, Dario, I don't want to debate you about this. Like I said on Twitter, I don't want to debate you. I don't even want to debate about whether you're trying to debate me. You win. I'm stupid. Can we dial it?
So my issue is that you're just invoking the word debate over and over again.
Can we dial it back?
Right. But what is a debate? What am I doing that is debate instead of discussion? I'm just having a conversation.
It is a competition with you, I think. It is like
how is it a competition? What am I winning?
You're saying he's dumb implicitly by saying
I'm not streaming. I don't have a platform anymore, right?
Yeah.
I have nothing to gain. What I'm just trying to do is I'm having a discussion. I'm having a heart to heart with the person, with the man himself.
This is a dick to dick, not a heart to heart.
Yeah, it really is like a battle.
We can do that in private, okay?
Yeah, it sounds like you're calling him dumb implicitly by saying you've thought about these things more deeply, and like you kind of want to prove to him that you thought about them more deeply by like
no, not at all.
exposing his surface level analysis and maybe taking him deeper.
You did provoke me and trick me into debating you for a while. So in that sense, you did win. But now I want to stop. You win. You're smarter than me. You probably are better at debating than I am.
Well, sure. Can you? Okay, so we don't have to have this conversation. We don't have to debate. All I want to know in the future, if we ever do speak again, Mr. Girl, I want to know what makes it a debate. What's the difference between a debate and a discussion? How can I avoid making you feel like it's a debate?
Yeah, that's confusing me as well.
More empathy.
Right, because I came in, right, and I was like, listen, we don't have to have a debate. I just want to express my opinions, right, and maybe it's because my opinions are combative, right? Maybe it's because they are controversial, or I'm just saying my mind.
It's a general lack of empathy in the way you're communicating, and it's that when you ask questions, they are not out of curiosity or interest. So, like when Stardust asked me a question, she doesn't have something lined up for what, depending on what my answer is going to be. She's not leading me anywhere. And like with Vosh, when I was asking Vosh about the strip clubs, I didn't have a plan. I think this might be part of what he found off-putting, is that I didn't know what I was going to say after that. I was asking him simply because I was curious about what he would say. And I feel like your questions are usually part of this one.
No, I honestly, I don't know what questions I even asked you coming in here. I'm trying to think in my head what questions.
The one you just asked me, where you said this. You said.
Can I interject really quickly, Mr. Girl? I'm getting a couple of people saying that you need more mods in your chat.
Oh.
Yeah, if you need to mod anybody, I can mod your chat. And you can mod. I see.
Wait, how do I
DJ
use
Quad?
How do I use?
You just do /mod,
yeah.
and then you put somebody's.
Modding Stardust. Wait, so you're a mod now? I did it? Come Gremlin is one who's good? It's that's okay. I'm trusting Come Gremlin because you told me to. Anybody? Why are there so many people in my chat? Did somebody raid me? Oh. I'm just Mr. Girl. Somebody said it's DGG. I think Destiny might have raided me. Destiny an hour ago. Okay. Yeah, this ain't normal. It's a lot of people. Don't tell me I'm popping off. Okay, I'm hiding the chat. You guys are distracting me. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, questions like what questions are they're leading questions? It's not coming from a.
Questions like
whoa. You're not just okay. You don't come off as just curious. That's what I'm saying. It comes off like you're everything you're saying is part of some Rube Goldberg machine of facts and logic that's going to end in a slam dunk where I look retarded. So and I. Even now, okay. So here's if I were you if I were you and I heard what I just said to me, I would say. I was like, just slow down and be like, okay, so you feel like it's part of a Rube Goldberg machine. So what? How? What? It's just like an interlocking machine with like a ball rolls down a thing and hits a lever and another thing. Basically, a complex puzzle of ideas that the person you're talking to. Oh.
They can't hear you.
Oh, because I typed mod and M is mute. Fuck. Okay.
Hey, listen, Mr. Girl, maybe you should spend less time on the pedo analogies and more time learning your stream.
Hey,
you know.
Well, I don't know. If
That's
you
the
look
type of
if you
word
look at
I
how my
expect from
career's
Todd
gone,
Rodnick.
I don't. The data does not support that
It's
suggestion.
not broken, don't
Pedo shit.
Yeah.
Listen, 1,000 viewers overnight. You're beating John Zerka.
I don't know who that is. I never watched Twitch. I don't know who.
You will
He's a
probably get to
dummy.
learn him very cool.
Okay,
Very
cool.
soon,
Yeah.
I think.
You're going to
All
have
right,
quite an
can we
exploration on your hand.
All
would
right, can
love
we
to have
stop
you on, I
boomer
think.
shaming him?
Yeah, I'm just old. Chill.
I was once a boomer too.
Wait, how old are you actually?
I'm 36.
Oh damn! Now I
Yeah.
actually
You're a
feel bad.
youngin.
I
You're a
know.
youngin.
You called an
I'm
old man with
44.
Alzheimer's
I'm 44
dumb.
in just a couple weeks here.
Oh, 44? Nice. That's good.
You guys are looping a lot and just kind of going back and forth and not making progress.
Let's agree
I
to
think it's-
disagree.
Well, no.
Okay.
Well, the problem.
I disagree as well.
Sorry, Todd.
I'm loving
I
this.
sorry, I just want to say I want to let Pragmatic Leftist get a word in, but Mr. Girl, Roserist, do you have anything to say to Roserist if Roserist came on?
Oh, sure. Does he want to come on? Or are you just saying theoretically?
Well, he's sort of just having a chat with him. He's kind of not saying he's definitely going to come on, but if there's something specific you wanted to say or talk about, he might come on. That was all.
Our conversation ended with me saying I'm kind of horrified by the way he wants to just amass power and thinks he's right and wants to convince everybody to think like him, which is not specific to him. It's specific to a lot of streamers. That I just find the idea of like I want to
Maybe your criticism.
I want to spread my ideas and make everybody agree with me. That freaks me out. I just find it horrifying. And debate is. Yeah.
Okay, well let's throw it over to Pragmatic Leftist. I'll relay that, and if he comes on, he comes on. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Pragmatic Leftist, go.
Okay.
Do you mind if I actually ask you a question in good faith?
Oh my fucking god.
Wait. Yeah,
Wait.
wait.
Oh,
Dario,
sorry.
I'm gonna let you. Dario, I'll let you go. Just 1 minute. I just find, Mr. Girl, that a lot of your like criticisms of like Dario's questions are like very weird and seem extremely overly defensive. When, I mean, I just.
I'm a sensitive dude.
Being reasonable. Okay.
He's not being unreasonable. I
Put it out there.
just don't like talking like that. I don't think it's productive, and I personally
why?
dislike it. I just explain why. Do you have
There you have it.
the second level question about why I don't like it? I find it unempathetic and more about the sport than about the content of the thing you're talking about.
He doesn't consent to it.
I don't consent.
Okay.
It makes me sad and scared.
Mr. Girl, is it fair to say that like any significant pushback that's like deliberate and consistent, is that always going to be like a debate type thing? Or like, because I can see their side where they say, like, if there are people who want to push back against these things seriously, you're kind of saying if they're not receptive to a certain threshold, you're not going to entertain the conversation.
I think so. Debating Destiny is very different because when you say something, he says, "Okay, so let me get this straight. Let me make sure I understand what you're saying. Before I respond, I want to make sure I get what you're saying." And he repeats it back to you, and so until you're on the same page, and he does the prism thing, but he does it in little bursts, and then he says, "Okay, here's what I think," and then you look through his eyes, and then you reconnect, and it's like, it's a debate, but it's also from curiosity and discussion and comparing why you think what you think, and then when you reach an impasse, like with the pedophilia thing, he said, I think pedophilia is binary, you think it's not. And we danced around and we explored that for a long time. And eventually it was like, we can't reconcile this. Like, you just think this and I just think this. And like, so then from there, all we can do from there is just look through the prisms, just look through each other's eyes and try to see, why do you think that? Why do I think this, without arguing, because there can be no debate anymore at that point. All we can do is understand each other. So like, if I talk to a white supremacist, there will be topical things we can agree or debate, but eventually it's going to come down to, why do you think that race is the best way to subdivide, like, how we think of each other, and why is that the best way to categorize each other? I don't think it is. I don't even think it's that important, but it's important to you, and I want to understand, like, how did you get there?
It's like they have different
axioms. It's like they have different axioms, and people who you don't like they're trying to change your axioms, it feels like, and you just want to understand their axioms and their foundation and where they're coming from.
Well,
I think Dr.
there's...
Hang on.
I just real quick, just one point, and then you can go.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think there are two big ways that people usually have discussions, and I understand where you're coming from, Mr. Girl, because what you're saying is, well, the way that you like to talk about topics is that you like to present your system or like your views, and then they present their views, and then everybody who looks at it just sort of goes, well, whose views do I think are more reasonable, or do I understand all of the views, right? But there are different ways to sort of discuss topics, right? And the one that I prefer to talk about is where you sort of accept the views of the person. You're like, okay, I understand your system and your views. Now I'm going to tell you or argue with you or discuss with you or debate with you, call it whatever you want, right? I'm going to take your system and I'm going to say, here's why I don't think what you're saying makes sense from within your own system, right? I'm not presenting my system. I'm not telling you these are my views. I'm just saying from within the system that you're presenting, I think it is logically inconsistent, right? And I think those are the discussions that I feel like you're not taking, right? And I'm not asking you any questions right now, right? And that's sort of my issue with this whole thing, right? You're presenting it as I'm asking you unfair questions or I'm not willing to listen to you, right? I don't think I've presented any questions. I've just explained why I tweeted out what I did, right? And then we're just talking about that.
Okay.
Okay, wait, I just want to point out something. I think what's happening, Mr. Girl, is that when you enter a conversation with someone, especially when it comes to like political stuff or philosophical stuff, people already have a set of moral axioms, right? And it feels like a lot of time, the minute you start talking to someone, there is much more quicker than most people. There is a confronting of those people's moral axioms.
shit.
I don't believe Destiny, for example, starts debates with his moral axioms in mind, and maybe that's why the debates with Destiny are different. But Dario disagrees with me on this, so maybe he could.
No, I actually I agree with what you said, right? And that's sort of my issue, right? It feels like too quickly. It's sort of you're quick, or that's how it feels to me at least. You're quick to break down conversation into, I guess we'll just agree to disagree and then move on to the next topic, right? Like at least for my taste, it's way too quickly, right? Like it's like you present your side, they present their side, you go, oh, I guess we just disagree, over to my next point, right? And that's, I don't know, is that something you ever think about, or is that just sort of what happens?
I think it just happens, but I mean, obviously so I think with Destiny, when
Rose, as soon as you finished, I'll throw it over to you on you, okay?
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. I'm just here to amass some more of that scary political power, I guess. I just have just a question for Mr. Girl, and then maybe I have some follow-ups. I'll see.
Okay.
So, what specifically is it that I do in your eyes that you find scary?
What specifically? I think
the eyes.
I think you want as many people to agree with you as possible. And
okay, and
I think you use debate tactics and argumentation to get people to agree with you. And you're very good at it. You're very compelling. I like watching your streams, and I like you. I like you as a person. But your goals freak me out, and your methods freak me out.
Okay, so there's a bit of reading into intention there, which is okay. We kind of went through that discussion a bit when it was just you and me, but so you mentioned like debate tactics as one thing, but what is it specifically that I like? What's something that I do that you find like malicious or that you don't like or whatever? Maybe like an example of like a debate tactic or something of the sort.
The way you were going through my argument with Destiny and helping, you're providing art. You're like, okay, so here we can make this argument. We can make this argument.
You mean Vosh, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, Vosh.
Okay,
gotcha. You're providing arguments and counter arguments to things I'm saying and things he's saying, and like it's interesting from a like kind of sports breakdown perspective, but you're also coaching people in how to think a little bit, and that I find disturbing.
Okay, so I can just give you what it feels like from my perspective. So what I'm doing is I'm watching you and Vosh have a, what do you call that, a debate or discussion?
That was a debate. Full.
I was
trying to have a discussion, but it turned in. I don't know, actually. It turned into a wrestling match. I think more about what kind of conversation we were going to have. I don't know that we ever had much of a conversation, actually. But we can call it a debate for sure.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys had debates, and what I try to do when I go into like reviewing a debate is I want to obviously try to add something. I just don't want to sit there and just be like, oh, that was good, or just, you know, whatever. I'm going to try to add something. And typically what I like doing is I like thinking about the arguments and the ideas that both sides are making, and then maybe helping an audience kind of be guided through those arguments and understand what is exactly being said, what isn't being said, some other interesting avenues, some ways to even further strengthen some arguments and some ideas that are being put out there, and some ways by which, you know, I can notice flaws or stuff like that. Basically, in my eyes, what I'm doing there is I'm assisting people and giving them, obviously it filtered down from my perspective because, well, I'm a human being, of this is how I interpret this, these are the ideas I think are being discussed, here are other relevant avenues and aspects to these ideas that aren't mentioned here in the debate. I see it as more of like a obviously there is still like a political and like a bent to it because well, I mean, I'm a person, I have political predilections and everything, and, you know, I try my best to not have my bias, you know, show or be demonstrated in the reasoning and the arguments I make, but more of like an educational thing where I'm trying to make both sides and extract the most strong parts of their different ideas and try to see if there's any irreconcilable differences or anything, and basically like mediate the conversation a bit. And I don't know what part of that it is that's like harmful or dangerous to give my opinions on the ideas being espoused and the arguments that are being made and stuff like that.
I just think there's something very teacherly and prescriptive about the way that you give your opinions, and that it feels like there's a right opinion, and it feels like we're supposed to agree with you as the audience.
Okay, so what differentiates me doing that from you when you have conversations and when you give arguments and when you say stuff?
I think I give arguments in a way that really frees people up to disagree with me and to say, well, like, and I think that's kind of a bit what's happening with Stardust now, is she's like, it's not so much that I agree with Mr. Girl, it's that I felt it was thought-provoking, and it made me think about my own beliefs about it. And that's what's interesting is that it's so distasteful, some of the things I'm saying, that you're not, I'm not trying to convince you to think like me. I'm saying what I think, and it gives you a lot of room to think about what you think. And so, like, a lot of comments I get on my channel are, I don't agree with you at all, but I loved this video. I'm a hardcore Trump supporter, but I still love this video, and it made me think about my own beliefs, and in like, thank you for doing that. And very rarely do I get comments, and they freak me out when I do, when they say, wow, this was like looking in a mirror. You're saying everything I've been thinking about this, or, and worse, you convinced me to agree with you. I didn't agree with you before, but now I do. I don't want to make people agree with me.
Okay, we could have a conversation about that specific sentiment, and I think we touched about that a little bit more, but I don't think that's super particularly interesting. I guess the main thing is that you seem to kind of imply that I may not be as open-minded or as inviting to disagreements or to people to form their own opinions based on the things that I talk about. And I personally can't identify like a particularly meaningful difference in the way that like both of us just have conversations and structure arguments and stuff like that is open-minded to, you know, other ideas and other perspectives, and we can grapple with them ideas and work with them. In fact, I think that is even, you know, more so demonstrated in the conversation or the review I had of the Vosh and your discussion, because I'm not going in there just dogmatically being like, okay, who do I agree with, what ideas do I agree with, and let's just focus on strengthening that position of the debate throughout this entire thing.
Sure,
I am actively playing.
But if you make a video where you're talking about gender, or you're debating about gender, you don't want people leaving it thinking, yeah, okay, trans women are not women. Trans women are men, and trans men are women, and this is all bullshit. Like, I feel like you don't want people thinking that.
So you've also made videos where you talk about stuff. I mean, you had your gender narrative video, which I went over, and so it's a 2-hour video, and you know, it's an argumentative video in the fact that it presents arguments and it explains a reasoning, like a mindset, so
yes,
so to say. And So apart from you reading into me and believing that I have different like incentives or different ideals or different goals and aspirations and motivations than what you have,
yeah.
What is it that's actually like materially different in how you and I express our ideas? Because that's not what I'm catching. I'm catching you saying a lot about like reading into my intentions and stuff like that, but not a lot about like, hey, here's how my rhetoric, the way I present this, is meaningfully different from how you do it.
I think I give more air and empathy to ideas that are contrary to my own. I think I spend I spend more time and more. I think I encourage the idea that we're just looking through different lenses and that I'm not right. It's just a way of looking at things, and I also think I give a lot of time and airspace to other ways of looking at things and say why I like mine better, but not that it necessarily is better. Whereas I feel like you are more showing that this is the right argument, it is the most logical argument, it is the most true argument, it is the most backed up by data, and therefore it is the most superior and correct.
Yeah, so I'm curious, why would you say or argue anything if you didn't believe it was, you know, the best argument to the fullest extent of your knowledge and your understanding of the topic?
Because I think a lot of the things we're talking about are more belief systems than empirically true. There's components of them that are based in science or are scientific and measurable in nature, and then the question is, how do we decide which of those are true, and then how do we put them together to form a broader belief or idea?
And we're both presenting each of our two independent belief systems, which is a collection of the best information and the best thoughts that we both respectively as individuals have on the topic, and presenting them on a public platform for other people to look at and get inspiration from or view or, you know, grapple with or whatever.
But my way of viewing things might not work for everybody, and I don't think it should. There's
once again, now it's more like intention and like, oh, I don't think it should, but when it comes to what's actually like expressed, I still don't.
I don't think I express my ideas in a way that conveys that you should agree with me. I think my audience is probably of a much broader political spectrum than your audience. Do you think that's fair to say?
That's
like I probably
possible.
got like 30 to 40% Trump supporters, and I feel like that is not true of your streams. I think that people listen to you who mostly already agree with you, and probably some who don't quite agree with you and are being shifted for sure. You're compelling and persuasive, but a lot of it is people hearing things that they already agree with and hearing arguments that they probably have not already thought of, because you're very good at putting those arguments together and presenting them. I think when people watch my content, it's very often stuff they don't agree with, and then when they're done watching it, they still don't agree with it.
Is it fair to say that your approach is more of a exploration of ideas?
Yeah.
And because the way you even speak in these conversations, you take your time to work out words, and you can tell that you're thinking. It's not like you're working from talking points. You're exploring as you go, and as you're talking, you're walking through your thought process. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, so
I think
it's very explorative with the person you're talking with.
Right, and so if I'm exploring with something like pedophilia or rape or mass shootings in this way, and it is viewed as being prescriptive, and it is viewed as being something that I think makes me look good or that I think is objectively true, you can see how that is very provocative for other people if they're like, to me, I'm just sort of meandering through these ideas and feeling out my beliefs. Like I'm not even sure what my positions are until we're talking about them exactly or how I'm going to present them. And then if other people see those as like, I want everyone, like earlier I said, I think there's a little pedophile in all of us, right? If that gets clipped, it could be interpreted as I want everyone to think that. And then it comes out like, well, why does he want everybody to think that? He's got to have an agenda. And the only possible agenda for that is that I want to fuck kids. And it's like, that's not what I'm doing. That's not the point. The point is to say, like, what if, I kind of do think that. And like, what does that mean now? What if we take that as true? And like, what do we do with that information? How do we like live with ourselves, or what does that mean for policy? How, like, it's just like a thought experiment rather than a reasoned out.
But my big issue with that, and this is also, I mean, this also came to view in DeRosa's conversation, is that it feels like that's like the first step of conversation, right? You sort of present an interesting thought, and you're like, okay, let's present this interesting thought. And then what I feel like we should be doing from there is we should be like, okay, well, where do we go from that? How do we go to the next level? How do we sort of verify if that thought has any merit? And that's where I feel like the discussion should go. But at that point, it feels like we're just moving to the next thought instead. Does that make sense?
I think we agree that that's the first step, but then I think you're saying that it should then go forward to some kind of testing phase. Like, I'm designing,
how do we verify?
like I'm like a 6th grader drawing a picture of a cool car on a piece of paper, and like maybe that's how like Tesla started. But then you have to actually design the car, and then you have to test it out and see if it actually runs. And I think that that's not my. I don't have the same goal as you, so I see why you think I'm dumb if I'm like, we never need to go to that phase. But I think what I'm making is something more akin to art, where I'm making a painting of a car that I started out with a drawing, and then I'm like collaborating with Stardust or whoever to make it into a beautiful painting that people can then look at and reflect and think about their feelings and their beliefs or whatever. It's not supposed to be a like engineered sound thing that I'm making.
So videos like, for example, destroying your stupid Rittenhouse take, don't you think that's also kind of like a type of thing where you're taking a very deliberate stance and you're also proclaiming its, perhaps superiority over other ideas or belief systems on a given topic?
I think
isn't that kind of what you've been railing against a bit here?
The title is definitely like screwing with people and making it sound like that's what it's going to be. But I would say that video is more deconstructivist and more saying like it's complicated. Like, I firmly come down on the idea that Kyle Rittenhouse should have been acquitted, and that was the right decision.
And you would say that that's a more like a more reasonable position to have on the topic, right?
That is a more reasonable position to have on the topic, yeah.
Okay.
So that's fairly prescriptive.
But this is my issue, right? So for some things, it seems like you're willing to say that.
Well,
but for other things,
no. I think my positions are more reasonable. What I'm saying is, in my communication style, someone who thinks Kyle Rittenhouse should have gone to jail, my hope is that they can sit through and would even enjoy sitting through the video, and then at the end say, "You're full of shit," but this was thought-provoking, and I got a lot out of it. And I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad I found you. I don't agree with your stuff. You freak me out, but, I like you, and I like your music, and I find this really thought-provoking. That's what I want. I don't want people to come away thinking, oh, my Rittenhouse takes are stupid. This guy's right, never mind.
My issue isn't necessarily with that, right? And it's easy when we talk about something like Kyle Rittenhouse, right? And like, I think most people here agree with that, right? Like with the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, that there is a more nuanced opinion, right? But when you go on a stream and you say stuff like academia has been taken over by a cult, and then when people ask you, well, what do you mean by that? Like, how can we even come to sort of conceptualize what that means and how we view society from that prospect, right? And you just insist, no, I don't want to discuss it. If you can't see that it's been taken over by a cult, then we don't have anything to talk about. And it's
not that I need you to see that it has. I need you to know why I think that. That's what I'm saying. If I say academia has been taken over by a gender cult, you have to know what I mean when I say that. And it's fine if you don't see the same things as me. But if you're going to say, I have no idea what you're talking about, then I just don't believe you, and I don't really want to talk about it anymore.
Okay. I can give like a brief conclusion of what my takeaway from this conversation has been, and then I'm probably gonna give it back to Mr. Girl if he has anything to say about it, and then I'm probably gonna head off because it's fucking 4 a.m. So Yeah. What I'm probably gonna say is, from this discussion, I still haven't quite been able to pick up or see that you have identified something explicitly different between what I do and what you do
Do you think
when
our
it comes to
channels
the
are
use of.
different?
Oh, they're unquestionably different, but in
Do you think they're
regards to
different
like
in terms of what they want the viewer to walk away with?
it might be different when it comes to, and that's the kind of thing I'm getting to. And I was going to say this later. I think that you've kind of very strongly said, okay, well, this is your intention with this, and this is my intention with this. But in materially, what we're actually doing and the content of what we're saying and the way we're doing our discussions, I mean, both of us have beliefs that we believe are most reasonable. Both of us make arguments in that favor in order to support that. Both of us make considerations of opposing viewpoints and engage with them in ways that we seem to believe are, like open-ended and open-minded and charitable and the rest of it.
Okay, but if you were talking about pedophilia with Stardust, do you think you'd end up talking about your own mother psychologically, sexually abusing you for half an hour?
I don't have that experience, so probably.
If you
not,
had
no.
had that experience, do you think that would come up?
If I would bring up, if I
you get what I'm saying. That I'm much more willing.
Discussing.
I'm much more willing to discredit myself and say like, I think I disclose much more about myself and my content, which has the effect of, oh, maybe you just think this because of this weird story that it's in your past and this has affected you and made it. And like I saw Stardust on another stream afterwards, she was like, yeah, she was like, he said that's not why he has his beliefs, but I kind of think it is.
Yeah,
and I gave her that opportunity to discredit me with that. And I don't think you do that. I think your goal is to present the best argument possible. I think I'm much more confessional in my argumentation. When I'm making a point, I'm also saying, here's all the weird shit I'm thinking about this that might make you not want to agree with me, or might make you think, like, I'm discrediting myself while I'm saying it. I'm giving you multiple outs to just say like, oh, you're just a weirdo, and I don't, you're not convincing me of anything anymore. You're just weird. You're like a weird, broken, sad person. And like, how many people comment on your channel that you need help? It happens to me fucking daily, right? And so I think that's another difference in how we communicate.
Yeah, the fact that we're willing to discredit ourselves. So I don't know how much you know about me. I expected to know a lot about me, but I do try to make a very conscious effort to be cognizant of biases that I might have, to not make conclusive statements on a lot of things unless I am very, very, very certain about them, and to try to keep an open mind towards a lot of ideas. I can give you a recent example, just the video I put out today, when I discussed what happened to Lindsay Ellis and the rest of that. Even though it's probably not the most, necessarily popular thing to do, and especially if we were coming from a hyper-partisan perspective, I do a bit of like analysis and I do a bit of empathizing with the position that people in a Twitter hate mob might be in, and how it might be understandable for their perspective why they might engage in examples of targeted harassment on Twitter and stuff like that. And I kind of work through that idea with an open-minded perspective and try to capture like every side as much as possible. So I mean, to the best of my ability, I do try to do that. I don't know if I have as many relevant personal anecdotes and experiences about the things I talk about.
Buddy. Give it another
Maybe
20
I will,
years.
and maybe I'll talk about them then. Yeah, I mean, I'm young. I'm 18, so
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Maybe
So,
I should be doing this today with 18-year-old MRGIRL. We'll see. But yeah,
well, I'm not trying to provide the most sure thing. I'm trying to provide a confusing, explorative mess. And it's just super different from what you're trying to do. And one of the effects of what I make is that it doesn't make people start to think like each other or like me.
Well, this is going to be like a very difficult discussion to have, because we're not gonna. There's no way for us to make sure we're talking using the same metrics and using the same like conceptualizations of stuff we have going on. But like for instance, I've had a few experiences where I've checked out parts of your community a bit, specifically your Discord community, and I was quite surprised hearing the rhetoric and the way you talk about your community, that there is quite a lot of like with most online communities, there is still quite a bit of, hey, this is what was said by the community leader of this, which was Mr. Girl, and I'm kind of going to follow that quite a bit, and I'm kind of like a diehard supporter of a lot of things that are being said here and yada yada. That might just be the most active members of the community. There's probably many that aren't like that. There's probably people like that within my community. I mean, there is within a lot of different communities, and I mean, at the end of this discussion, I still don't really feel like I've been left with, hey, here is something in practice that I do that is meaningfully different from what you do, beyond you just trying to like read into, okay, these are your intentions with doing this, and here's my like, a bit implied, like a bit holier than thou intentions, less authoritarian, less authoritative, less big brother intentions, and that's kind of that's the way I feel about this at the moment. I don't feel like I walk away from this discussion was like, okay,
but you agree
here's
that
something I could improve on, or
you agree that I
I
more
give it to you on
explicitly
Clemson.
say things that make me look insane and terrible and discredit the argument that I am making while I am making it, and you don't do that, and I know I only do
yeah.
this.
May I
Yeah,
please
I
So
speak
agree.
to you,
that's
Mr.
what
And I would
what.
say that,
Stop me.
Well, it's one
and I
thing
would say that's at the
Tom.
detriment of the broader conversation sometimes.
It's not.
That's fine.
And you already know
I
about
get
this.
why you don't
And
do it. I'm just saying it is materially different.
Yeah, and here I can give an argument for why you doing that is counter to your cause more than what I'm doing. And here's how that argument would go. So by giving out ideas and sentiments while also saying something fucked up about yourself or something like that, you're effectively giving people an easy out to having to engage with your ideas. They don't need to think about what you have to say. They don't have to work with anything. Oh, this Mr. Girl guy, oh, he's a pedophile, he's this, he's that. I don't need to listen, I don't need to engage, I don't need to do anything with anything he's saying.
Yes.
Whereas if you try to have a more measured response and you try to like, hey, I'm going to try to provide just the ideas and the concepts in as concise of a way as possible.
It's more palatable
and
to everybody.
Try not to load it, right? Because then they're forced to engage more with the ideas and think about them for themselves more than, okay, well, now, if depending on whether or not they like you or not, you've now given them an easy out, effectively.
Yeah, I think it's clear that I'm much more provocative.
And
I think it could be to the detriment of the things that you say you care about.
Absolutely.
Well, one thing that he mentioned earlier is that a lot of these topics don't get touched because of optics. There's a fear to touch these topics because of the negative optics of them. And I'm not sure that I agree with Mr. Girl in this position, honestly. I'm not sure that just shirking optics so that you can touch the topics actually introduces more people to the problem. But I understand the desire to want to break through the hesitancy that pretty much everybody else has. I understand the desire to do that in order to broach these topics.
Well, do you also understand that there's an artistic impulse? I'm also making art.
And that's the provocative part, right?
Yeah, and also thought-provoking and confusing and messy. But like I'm an artist, and I think that that takes a certain priority over being.
That's the difference. That's the difference, that you are proactive, and a lot of these other people here are reactive. They just react into clips, react into debates. You're artistically creating something and putting something into the world.
Wow, that's enlightening.
I gotta go because I've got plans. I just it was nice talking to all of you, and
thanks for coming on, mate.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on,
Take
Dario.
care. Have a good night.
It was nice talking to you, Mr. Girl.
Nice talking to you too, Dario.
Hate me.
No, I don't hate you at all. I just hate I hate talking to you. No, I'm just kidding. We'll keep talking.
No, listen. Only one thing, just one thing before I leave, okay? And it's not an attack or anything. I just want to say, I think you should also listen to people more who come to talk to you, because it feels like sometimes you're quick to dismiss people a little bit based off what you have experienced, and I agree that you've experienced a lot of probably bad stuff and accusations. And
I'm a little overwhelmed at the moment.
Sure, but that doesn't mean everybody's coming to.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I agree with you. I'm a bit defensive at the moment, and I will work on it.
That's not
Sam?
I'm probably also gonna call us a night. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Mr. Girl, do you have anything final you want to say, or?
I look forward. I look forward to continuing this broader debate with you in the future. I think that I don't know. I think it's worth talking about.
Okay.
And I don't think you're
has
wrong.
Your opinion? Oh, okay.
I just don't. It might just be a difference in our goals. I guess I think you're wrong that we have the same goal. I do think you're wrong about that. But I don't think I don't think your view is wrong, and I don't. It just freaks me out. That's all. I think the way that you do your channel freaks me out. That didn't change. No, I'm horrified.
To be clear, I don't think that we're necessarily denying that we have. So I will say without an issue that I'm going to put out like arguments. I'm going to put up material that I agree with and I think is the most correct thing to the best of my ability, and then hopefully people engage with that responsibly. Yeah, I'm hopefully going to say that that's my goal. But what I was looking for here was like something that like, hey, this is like some way in which the way we do this is like materially different or whatever. But yeah, your opinion,
when I happen upon one of my old videos that has a title like transgenderism scares me, I'm like, oh Jesus, fuck, what did if I haven't watched it in a while, I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna say? Because I know that I made it in this in this way. I know it's not gonna be this perfectly crafted, reasoned thing. So I know what you're talking about. The things I make
I know that they're not going to be that either. They're going to be the best. I mean, to the best of my ability and my current knowledge at the topic, and I don't claim any different. I don't claim to be an omnipotent, omniscient public figure.
No, but I just know it's going to be a mess. I know I'm going to hear myself saying things and be like, I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know. This is making me uncomfortable.
Oh, I hear. I watch videos from like a year ago, and I feel the same thing 100%.
Okay.
But yeah,
well, I'm glad to hear that.
All right. Well, maybe that's what I should do next. I should go over my old videos and be like, hey,
there's more reactions. Be proactive.
I suppose.
I might just be old and broken at a certain point. I think I just feel like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know anything. I'm just talking.
I might just be young and inexperienced. Who knows?
I would call that being wise, Mr. Girl.
Okay, anyway, as people are leaving anyway, I'm going to start to wrap this thing up because I think
goodbye, everybody.
All right, sleep well.
Do we all give final statement?
Out. Yeah.
Final statement. So, I mean, sure. What do you want to say?
Okay. This is going to be my final statement. Number one, okay, Stardust accused me of sexism. Don't think that's true, and I think this is a very weird comment considering
specifically you.
Hold on,
okay.
This is my final statement. I'm considering that I don't remember her saying this with all the sexist rhetoric that Demon Mama has suffered and other people have suffered. It's a very weird conversation. I was not convinced by anything. I just wasn't, okay? I think that this is extremely dangerous. I think that the platforming of this person, Mr. Girl, is still extremely dangerous. I think it causes immeasurable harm to minors and children. I haven't changed my I have not changed my opinion of this
like
person.
A holocaust of minors and children.
And that's exactly what I'm going to end on. Thank you so much, Chud, for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else want to give a final statement?
Yeah, I do. If you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. Please do. Yeah.
Okay, so I've learned a lot through these last few days. I had some pretty solidly, some fairly solidified opinions of Mr. Girl prior to this whole thing. And I think one thing that I've learned is that I believe that you, Mr. Girl, are contrary to what is popular on the internet. You are not trying to be an expert in anything. You're not trying to bring people to a specific position. I think that you are recognizing that there are certain topics that are simply not touched on in our discourse, that you would be considered to be anathema if you do touch on them. And so what you're trying to do is you're trying to actually bring those topics forward and touch on them and ask questions about them and kind of walk through your thoughts on the topic, while, like you said, combining a provocative art form to it that gets attention. And let's be frank, it gets attention. That's why you've got so many views. I think that the contrast we have here, especially when you get into this space and political commentary based Twitch, is that you've got it's very common that people are trying to win people to positions, just as you pointed out with Rose Wrist, and we've got a culture of this here where it's very much people often speak from a position of authority on pretty much any subject, and their goal is to convince you of their way of looking at that topic, whatever it may be. And you're admitting that you are not a person in a position of authority, and as you just mentioned moments ago, that you honestly are not sure what to think of things. And so you're simply just observing this dearth of conversation from these topics that we don't touch because of optics. And you're saying, screw the optics. I'm going to get attention on this stuff. That's what it looks like to me. And it also seems to me like where you work best in terms of having a conversation with others is when there's a solid exchange of steel manning and asking if if the way they presented your position is correct, and then presenting their position, and then asking what your thoughts are on it. So having this
trust.
exchange,
like trust
yeah,
and care, yeah.
And that's another thing that unfortunately there's an extreme dearth of in this particular space, and Stardust is one of the few people who fills that kind of niche. So all in all, I think that even though I don't necessarily agree with your particular approach, and a lot of the things that you've talked about have definitely weirded me out, I'll admit that. I've learned a lot about what it is that you're doing, and it may still have some irresponsibility to the way that it comes out.
I think that's inevitable.
But perhaps, I don't know, maybe you might have learned some things from just the feedback you've gotten over the past several days. Be nice to hear your thoughts on that. But that's my kind of closing statement on this.
May I say something after Stardust or Dr. Red Pill?
Yeah. I mean, listen, no rush, but it is like 3:30 a.m. and I want to talk to my chat for a bit by myself, but go for it. Make it quick.
I can wait if those two want to say anything.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead, sort of.
No, I don't have any thoughts formulated yet. Why don't you go?
Yeah, just let Mr. Girl be himself. He's not hurting anyone. I keep like asking people what harm he's done, and they can't articulate anything substantial at all. It just makes him a little bit uncomfortable, and that's kind of the point I think that he's making is like we should be a little more comfortable being uncomfortable and exploring these topics without being so scared. I think a lot of people they touched on this, like they want an authority figure to speak on these things when it comes to these controversial issues like trans stuff or pedophilia, and like to some extent, I think Mr. Girl is right. Like academia has become extremely one-sided in some of these ways, and like you don't get any opposition. And I think it's good to have some oppositional views and have a healthy conversation about it, and not be afraid for people to voice disagreement. So I think that's all fucking awesome. And keep it up, Mr. Girl.
Thank you.
Okay.
I guess like the only thing that I'd say is fuck all you bitches in chat, okay? I'm just saying now, fuck all of you. Don't ever think, and you can try again. I know you will. You're gonna try and tell me again who I can talk to, because this is not the first time you guys keep telling me who I can have on my platform. How many people lost their shit over flamenco? How many people lost their shit over other people I've had on my stream? You know what? I don't give a fuck, okay? I'm not your mom. Go find somebody else, okay? I'm not watching you. You don't have to watch me, okay? And don't fucking tell me what to do, because I don't tell you what to do, okay? Just don't tell me what to do. So, sorry. That's all.
Right.
Also, Mr. Girl is based, so. Yeah.
All I have to say is I apologize to you for judging you in advance, and I hope that people show you the same empathy that you try to put into the world, and thank you for your time. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Sorry.
That stuff I make's very provocative, so I don't want an apology. If anybody changes their mind about anything I've said or me, no apology necessary. I understand that I'm transgressive intentionally, and that being judged is part of that.
Mr. Girl, I have claimed on stream publicly that there's a 20% chance you're a nonce. I'm willing to downgrade
Now
that
it's
to
50.
10%.
10%?
No,
Okay.
no, yeah. How do you feel about that?
What percentage of all people do you think are pedophiles?
Oh, come on, let's not go there. Listen, I wanted
No,
to ask
seriously,
you a
what
question.
is 10%? What is 10%? And maybe it could be 10% for everybody.
It's like 5% or some shit, isn't it? I don't know. Anyway, listen, enough pedo shit. But I did want to ask you, have you seen the Brass Eye Pedophile special?
No.
Hey? Have you seen the Brass Eye Pedophile special?
No, what is that?
Right. I'm going to send you a friend request on Discord. I'm going to send it to you because I think you would really appreciate it. I'll explain it to you, okay?
Okay.
But with the content that you do, honestly, I've been serious. This is something that means a lot to me, and I think you'll get a lot out of it with the things that you talk about, okay?
Thank you.
No, my pleasure. Thanks for coming on. Any final points you want to make, Mr. Girl? Final comment?
I think one thing that's happening is that we're all growing up. I don't think we can just play Halo forever and do reaction videos and do drama videos. And I think that I may be pushing a bit hard, and that like I want to make stuff that is interesting for like 60-year-olds to talk about too, you know? And so it's like freaky and inappropriate, and I know that I'm in an attempt to sort of push the envelope. I'm also trying to redefine the space and say like maybe it's not maybe we need to change how we're all looking at this so that what I'm doing isn't so crazy and inappropriate. Maybe it's not that weird to be blunt, and maybe we don't have to be hyper responsible like we're talking to 10-year-olds or even 20-year-olds. Like, I agree that there is a degree of irresponsibility to it, and I do wrestle with that.
Okay, fair enough. All I'm going to say in regards to your Halo comment is 1v1 me in Blood Gulch, bitch. We'll fucking see what that's
No, seriously,
about.
you're on. I've never played this new Halo, and I intend to beat you.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, thanks a lot for coming by, everyone, and I'll catch you all later.
Take care,
Chad Logic. Just want you to know, we're cool now, but if I ever see you in the street, you better watch out, all right?
Listen, if you see me in the street, I'm going to be hurling slurs at you, and I'm going to have the upper hand because I'm white as it
You
comes.
you don't have the right still, okay? I have not bestowed the right upon you to use slurs yet, okay? You have that privilege has been revoked for you, all right?
Okay, I appreciate that. I'll work on it. Okay.
Equal rights and lefts.
All the best, everyone. Bye bye.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
That was fun.
Titus.
Thanks.
It was. Yeah. Thanks for bringing me on. Okay, I'll talk to you. What do you guys want to chat about? Through the ringer, yeah. That was pretty exhausting. Looking Jewish today. Nice. I don't have anything to say. The streaming shit is weird. I can't imagine just sitting here talking to myself for 8 hours. Wow. Jack Murphy. Yeah, I have some thoughts on the Jack Murphy situation. It feels like people are being very uncharitable. I understand. It's like Jordan Peterson when he like fell into the drug coma, and then it's very discrediting, but it's like I don't know. I've seen myself do things and had things happen to me that I swore I would never do and that I would never let happen to me. Also, I've made porn, so like I have no judgment there, and like it's the same shit as usual that I usually think. Like I don't want to see somebody get dogpiled just because they were a hypocrite or because they contradicted themselves. It upsets me. I just don't like watching people get dogpiled. Jack Murphy is this guy who wrote an article about how he liked watching people screw his girlfriend, and then somebody brought it up on a stream and he yelled at her for no reason, and then it's just increasingly embarrassing weird things kept happening, and then it turned out that he like made porn with his wife or fiance or something, and now and he's getting super defensive about it, and like the quartering's laying into him about it, and it's just like it's just sad. Oh, okay. He doubled down and lied about it. Yeah, that like he shouldn't. Obviously, I don't think he should do that, and I don't think he should be lying about himself or his life and giving advice about it. But like, I understand it. I need to get my glasses because I can't actually see. Well, I'll put the VOD up. What kind of games do I play? Smash, The Last of Us, and I'm gonna start playing Halo, but I've still never played it. I was so worried that your Cuties review was satire. No, it's not satire. Do I still play I play Smash. I don't have Mortal Kombat installed. I'm pretty good at it, though. I have an email for fan mail. I do. I'm not going to say it now, though, because I feel like something horrible is going to happen. Merrick isn't down to have a convo on stream. No. She said she would only talk in private, and she said I could record it, but then she would feel betrayed if I posted it. I don't want to backstab her. And then it just felt like all this shit you've been saying about me has been in public. So it's weird to have the part where you actually like understand me better. We, have some meeting of the minds be totally private. I just, it doesn't feel right to me. So no, I'm nearsighted. How do I think that went? Pretty well. I think we got to know each other and understand each other better. So yeah, from my goals, I think it went well. I don't like from debate style, like I feel like debates never go well unless there's some kind of like human connection. So yeah, I guess I think it went well. Nice meeting you guys. Who do I play in Smash? Mario. I'd like to talk to you to help you qualify what you're trying to say in a way that makes more people understand. I don't want to do that. I want to be me. I'm sure if I catch on and people like me and I'm popular, I'm sure there will come along somebody who is like a easier to understand version of what I'm doing, and then there'll be people who are further out and crazier, and I just want to be me. I've written a few screenplays, but I haven't in a long time, and none of them have ever been produced. They're making Factions 2, The Last of Us 2. I main Mario. I'm a Mario main. Mario all day. Setup tour, link to my equipment. Yeah, maybe. I'm not ready to start turning the camera around right now. I can sit closer, though. Focus. Yeah. You won over all but one person. Yeah, they said I was crying. Yeah, I was kind of crying. Do I really think there's a bit of pedo in all of us? I mean, in the context of that conversation and the way that I said it then, yeah, it's not something I'm gonna fucking say at the Wendy's window. How do I keep calm when someone's clearly not listening to me, like Rose Wrist? I think it's easier to remember to keep calm when the thing we're fighting about is that I don't want to fight. So that wasn't. If we were debating about something else or talking about something else, then I felt like he was trying to pull me into a fight, I'd be much more likely to get mad. Like I got more mad at Dario because like I forgot what I wanted to do and I started getting sucked into a conversation I didn't want to have and was just answering reflexively. And then I was like, I started to get mad, which is fine. I also keeping calm is not like a goal of mine. I just don't want to. I don't want to get so mad I say something I don't mean. But yeah, I got more pissed. But I think getting pissed is fine. I don't think like you lose just because you got pissed. I don't like that either. Anne of War. I don't know who. Oh yeah. Sure. I'll write that down. That's a good idea. Bro, play GTA with me. I don't think I can just start playing with random fans here. Yeah, debates feel like boxing matches. When am I talking with Book? I'm talking with Book Smarts tomorrow. Camera. Black Magic Design. Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. BMP CC 4K. And it's a Voigtlander 50mm lens, I think. Yeah, I have a degree. Not a degree. I have a review of. I have a degree in The Last of Us 2. I have a review of The Last of Us 2 on my website. I took it down from YouTube because it has nudity in it, but not me. It's one of the characters. But yeah, it's actually a really good review. Can I post something in chat that would break Twitch TOS? My Wow, I just said so much important stuff. I'm glad I scrolled down. Jesus Christ. Okay, I have to change my hotkeys right now. Because I'm ruining my streams. Wait, when did I get muted? How did I get muted? Did I type something? How did I mute myself? $2 minutes ago? That's so bad. Oh, I was trying to type The Last of Us link. I typed Max Carson and the key is mute. MaxCarson.com. Wow. Okay, well, that's pretty embarrassing. But this is only my second stream, so, you know, or third stream. So, you know, if you guys could show me a little charity. How do I change the hotkeys? I figured it out before. Whatever, I just won't type in it. Yeah, I'll change the... Oh, it's here. Hotkeys. Yeah, that was a really bad choice to pick a key that I actually use. I don't know. I'm just going to get rid of the hotkeys for now, because that's pretty bad. Make it semicolon? What if I want to use a semicolon in one of my chants? Alt-M? Okay, Alt-M. Good call. Just change it to Alt-F4. Is Alt-M going to fuck me over too? I'm going to experiment with this later. I don't trust you fucks. Yeah, Book Smarts is definitely more like Answer Stardust. She's crying. Wait, what are you crying about? Are you trying to call me? Definitely more like. Do you want to talk more, Stardust? We can call me on Discord if you want to talk. Oh, she started a call. Oh, okay. Hey. Oh,
Hey.
wait.
Oh.
No, you're here. Okay. Hey.
What's up?
Nothing. Where's your video?
Sorry, give me a second.
Who makes my shirts? Shaylin does. Oh, we're releasing a new shirt. I guess I'm gonna put it. I usually order one and then take a picture of it and put it on the website. But I think I might put this up for pre-order. But we're making a Daddy would never gaslight you shirt that I'm pretty excited about.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's dope. So I was just gonna say, I gave you a list of people. All you have to do is like type /mod.
People you're saying I should just trust?
Yeah, they seem like they're trustworthy.
Shit.
I'm not the best at judging, but you know,
The shirts
they
are
seem
American.
alright.
Okay. The shirts are American Apparel. They're good quality. Okay, I put your cameras up now.
Also, thank you for defending me.
Yeah, I know it turned into like a Mr. Girl AMA. That was not my intention.
No, it was good. I think that's good because it made people have to come face to face with the Mr. Girl.
Because they're talking shit about you by talking shit about me, and like if they have to actually, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting me come on.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't my panel. It was Chud's panel.
I know, but if you had told me not to come on, I wouldn't have.
Yeah, but you know, you're an adult, and it's not like I can tell you what to do. So.
Well, I was coming on. I wanted to be helpful, or you know, if I didn't like seeing people gang up on you. Even though some of them agreed with you, it still seemed like they were ganging up on you. I didn't really understand the dynamic there.
That's just how Twitch politics is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just muted myself for 2 minutes while I was talking. It was pretty bad.
Nice.
Yeah, my mute hotkey. I've accidentally muted myself for like multiple minutes every single stream I've ever done.
Why is chat bringing up Anna?
They said that Steven said I should talk to her.
Don't talk to her. Don't talk to her.
Why?
Don't do that.
Why?
She's
talk
like
been
stalking him for like the past year. Don't do that.
Why? Wait, you said she's been stalking him?
Yeah.
Don't. Now he wants to talk to her. Yeah. I can fix her. No, I don't. Everybody's warning me not to talk to any. The only person nobody's warned me against is you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's dope.
I get
Thanks,
negative
chat.
DMs about every single person that I've ever talked to, except you. So congratulations.
Thanks. Well, I'm sure you'll get some soon because they really do think that I'm Hitler now. So.
Yeah. I know I can fix her. Yeah. Oh, they were trying to trick me. I see. No talking to Anna.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, now you've tricked me into talking about her, which is not good.
Show him the entire Coomer saga. Nick, do you... Oh, wait, no. Wait, Nick is busy. Never mind. Now
So
they're
what,
saying
are
don't
you gonna
talk
play?
to
We're
me.
gonna play Halo or what? Are you gonna learn? You said you're bad at video games. I'm looking for.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
looking for
bad at
women to
I
play
was
Halo
just...
with. I don't know if you saw my tweet, but
I didn't see that.
yeah, I said
Um,
I'm
I-
tweeted out that I need to play with some. I need to play video games with women because I want to rehabilitate my image.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, although I
I'll
think
get
that.
Halo one of these days and play it with you.
Do you have the Game Pass?
What is that?
The Xbox Game Pass or PC Game Pass? It's
I don't think I...
It's a monthly subscription with Microsoft where you get to download any of a large. The games swap in and out, but like you get like access to a huge collection of games. I think you can get 3 months for $1 or something.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check it out. Yeah, I'll do that.
It's not.
Download Halo.
Oh, Infinite is free. Oh, multiplayer Infinite is free. Yeah. I think you don't need that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, this is not an ad.
Okay, I will do that. Also, you should still mod more people than just me and Cum Gremlin. As great as she is, yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. I turned off my hotkeys. I was afraid of exactly what happened. I was afraid that was gonna happen, and it did. Okay. So these people that you listed are still safe. Wait, how do I do it? /mod space.
/mod and then space and then one of the names there.
Okay, and if it doesn't pop up, they're not here anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, and none of these people are here. Wait, I think I'm doing it wrong. Wait, /mod. Yeah, nothing. It was like auto-completing before, but now it's not. What does this mean?
Oh, it might autocomplete when you type an @
Oh, yeah, that's what I was doing. Okay. Yeah. DJ Quad. Okay, can I do more than one in one chat, or?
Yeah, you can do a ton.
Nice. Okay. So how's that for you?
What?
The whole thing.
Oh, yeah, it was great. I feel very vindicated. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, because we were able to kind of win some people over.
Yeah, that and, and then people acknowledge that there's just a little bit of sexism playing in it. But, never mind, I'm not going to say anything. People, as soon as I bring that up, people get really mad. So
they get really defensive, yeah. Yeah, I think there's some sexism going on. I don't think it's intentional, but I think it's
yeah, it's obviously unintentional.
Just also the entitlement to tell you who you can talk to, and it's a very classic thing.
Yeah, it's just annoying. I get I don't know what it is, but that's like the quickest thing that seems to like make me super mad because I don't see people going around telling other people to who to platform and who doesn't. So, yeah.
Yeah.
See, people are already saying Stardust is not qualified to talk about this topic. I don't even know who you are, Lord King 52. Okay? What a pretentious name. Stupid idiot. Sorry you had to see me mad.
What, me?
Yeah.
Every single time I've seen you stream to talk about this or me or streaming, you get extremely mad. So I'm actually already used to it.
Sorry. Still.
Wait, on my...
Let's see.
There's like a
mods.
weird delay.
Oh,
on
you
your...
got a lot of mods. Awesome.
Yeah, I did it. I don't know how Twitch works at all. I don't know what's going on. People are talking about me making affiliate. I think I have to stream 7 times in a month in order to be an affiliate.
You'll probably get
Yeah, your
you'll
camera...
probably get affiliate very quick.
Your camera is like, there's a delay.
There's a delay. Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're like frozen.
Okay, let me check. Might be because your Discord window might be not up or something. Let me see.
Oh, it's my fault. I see.
Oh, okay.
Nice. If it's off screen, it just stops. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm learning, guys. I'm learning. Yeah, I think there's some sexism, entitlement, telling you who you can be talking to.
Yeah, just a little bit. I'm not going to complain too much about it, but it's just annoying. I don't know why I get so mad, but yeah. Anyways, looks like you're doing really well with viewers. I don't want to like keep you up. I just wanted to like call and say thank you for joining and for like backing me up. So
of course, anytime.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me and for backing me up. I mean, it'd be a lot easier for you to just saying, well, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done that. That would make us both look pretty bad. But there's a lot of pressure on you to do that. Less so now, though. It does seem like people are starting to be like, okay, he's just not doing the same thing, and you're in it, and you're not doing the same thing either. Like you're just trying to have interesting conversations and explore ideas. So that's.
I do debate sometimes, but I make an effort to make sure people know it's a debate. So, somebody said something. Why is she Indian? I don't know, bro. I was born this way. What?
Luck of the draw, guys.
What kind of question is that?
Luck of the draw.
Yeah, really. Okay. All right. I'll leave you be. Have fun with chat.
Yeah.
Let me know if you need any help.
You leave me alone
I'm
with
sorry.
this
I don't have like Halo right now. When I get it, I'll hit you up.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Have a good one.
All
or
right,
if you
you
play
too.
Minecraft. Yeah.
I don't play Minecraft. I like violent video games.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right now, I'm pretty fixated on Halo, Smash, and The Last of Us.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Have a good one, dude.
All right.
Bye.
You too. Later. Stream League with Lauren Southern. Yeah, I messaged her. I don't want to get banned either. I've not beaten The Last of Us on Grounded now. I started it like when it first came out, and when they released Grounded, I couldn't do it. Oh, Lauren Southern.
In the cave looking for miners.
Lauren Southern messaged me back. She said she's only good at Call of Duty or Super Smash Brothers. Obviously, Super Smash Brothers. I'm a Mario main. All right. Looks like I'm playing Smash with Lauren Southern. At some point. Oh, shit. She said, I want to play Ultimate. Wait a second. She probably saw my tweet. I gotta confirm that we're talking about Ultimate. All right. I played Melee when I was 16 when it came out, but no. Dude, do I think Merrick has yeah, let's talk about Merrick because she won't talk with me, so I'm just going to talk about her. Do I think Merrick has trouble seeing her own behavior for what it is? She said that she thinks I'm manipulative and that she's worried that I am going to use mind tricks. She didn't say the mind tricks part. She did say I was manipulative in our messages. And it does feel like a bit of a interest. It feels like mental gymnastics that, yeah, she can tweet about me, go talk on Destiny's stream, which is like a gigantic platform about me, but then when I'm like, well, hey, can I like at least before you put a video out about how I'm a bad person and how it's irresponsible to like listen to anything I say or platform me, can we at least have like a talk about it in public, just like the other talks? And then her to say, no, you're too much of a manipulator, so I can't do that, and I don't want it to be about content, when obviously it's all about fucking content. Like, a lot of this is about money, right? Like, my popularity now, my rising popularity, as I realized today, is partly just due to people make more money when they talk about me. So, like, if you get views, if something's exciting or new or whatever, controversial, you're getting paid to talk about it. So it's like, it's a lot of it's about money. So yeah, I think she should talk to me, and the door is still open. I think if you're going to talk smack, you should be able to talk to the person, for sure. Yeah, I think there's some... Yeah, if I'm going to talk to people in bad faith, I think that there's people it'll be exciting to talk to because it'll be crazy or whatever, and we can have a drama stream or debate or fight like with Vosh. Like, if all of my videos were like the one with Vosh, like, I think it would get old real fast because you can't actually get into anything or talk about anything interesting. So I think if it's going to be a shit show, I do want to keep those to a minimum and keep them kind of short, and like, if it's going to fall apart, let it fall apart and then just like move on. Is the popularity getting to my head? Not in like a cocky way, I don't think. It's getting to my head in like a anxious, I don't want to... I feel like I have to be not careful as in reserved, but just very thoughtful. I feel like I want to be very precise, and the amount of stuff happening makes that a little harder to do. What are the rules for chat? Don't break TOS. Don't try to get me banned. You can say... I don't know. I see people banning people for criticizing them. You can say whatever you want about me. I don't care. There's no rules for chat other than do not do anything that breaks TOS. Rem talked to Mr. Girl. Yeah, we talked on Twitter DM, so I think that's gonna happen. I will apply for affiliate. So yeah, I have to stream 7 days this month, and then I'll qualify. I'm gonna okay, musical inspiration, obviously Eminem. I'd say Eminem and Prince. And like a ton of other stuff. Like I really like Motown and movie soundtracks. I'd say those are like the big ones right now. I just like rap in general, but Eminem's definitely my favorite rapper. I think Vosh was afraid to engage with me because of his own questionable past. I think Vosh is a little emotionally detached from the heatedness of these topics, and I think that he's like hyper logical about them. So I don't think he is a pedophile. I think that his hyper logical way of thinking, which leads him to kind of cutthroat, die-hard stances in other arenas, which is great because in other areas it cuts through the emotional takes and it helps people understand like a logical conclusion. He doesn't understand that for most people, when it comes to children, we want our emotions to kind of rule. We want those to be what the laws and norms are based on. So even if you have like a super smart cutting take about children, it's not just a spicy take. It goes beyond that to like people actually getting really fucking upset. And I think he doesn't value that. I think that just pisses him off. I think that's why he gets so mad whenever he's talking about like sex with children. He's always like fuming but I assume that's because he doesn't understand why people say, you know what, for this topic, we're going to switch off our logic brains and we're going to go more emotional. I think that makes sense to me, but I feel like he doesn't have a lot of patience for that. Dr. K, I've applied. I'm doing my best to get on Dr. K. Why does Vito get upset when people make jokes about Jews? I think he hates anti-Semitism and racism. I think he just really hates it. That's my best understanding. I kind of hate it too, but I don't think I hate it as much as he does. Yeah, Dr. K, I'm working on it. Hit him up on Twitter. He talks to anyone. I don't know his Twitter. I saw the Healthy Gamer Twitter. Is that his? I'll try to find his if there's another one. How do I feel about Merrick doing a documentary on me? I mean, she's going to do a documentary on me about how people shouldn't platform me. I mean, business-wise, it's good. Anybody making a video about me just makes me more money and subs and patrons and everything. It just gets me more attention and expands my reach, which right now is helpful. So it's possible. She's smart. I think she's very intelligent, so it's possible she'll say some things that make me feel like I'm being irresponsible or make me think twice, which will be helpful. Possibly nerve-wracking, and then if they're mean, it'll probably hurt my feelings. That's how I feel. Well, I chat with Bad Bunny. I don't really know who that is. I've heard of Bad Bunny, but I don't know anything. So yes, sure. Why are you talking to everyone? It's like an alien arrived on Earth and they all want to interview. I mean, yeah, it's just people messaging me and saying, or I guess in this case, I just saw people talking about me and I was like, I should just join the conversation. But yeah, people are messaging me and asking me to talk. So I assume it's because the streams get a lot of views and they want like money and shit, just like me. This month ends tomorrow. I think it's in a 30-day period. I don't think it goes by the month. Am I going to be making more music soon? Yeah, I'm working on a song that'll be more of a joke song on YouTube. If it's good, I gotta make the song and then see if I like it. But it's probably. The artist formerly known as Prince actually changed his name back to Prince before he died. So that's not true. I produce all of my own beats. Yes, the album is 100% produced, mixed, and mastered by me. Eminem's new stuff sucks. I don't think it sucks. I think that he's pulling his punches. I think he doesn't want to lose what he has. I think he also is very detached from like online life and social media. He doesn't understand computers or anything, and he doesn't know how to use his phone. So I think that the combination of that and the combination of him playing things a little safer, I enjoy his music still, but I agree he's not pushing boundaries, and so that I wish he would. I wish the old fire would come back. It still could though. I don't know. I only listed one rapper. What rap? Like Afro Man. That's another rapper I can tell you about. I messaged him and asked him to be on my album, but he didn't respond. I'm working on that still. What other rappers do I like? I mean, like, I like Kanye. I used to like Big L a lot. I don't listen to that as much anymore. I used to like 50 Cent a lot, and then he blocked his son on Instagram, and I can never stop thinking about it every time I listen to him. I like Nicki Minaj. Lil Wayne. You know, this fucking rap that 36-year-olds listen to. That's what I like. Vosh is not a pedo. He's tired of getting called a pedo. Wait, or I'm a pedo. Everybody's tired of getting called a pedo. Do I plan on rapping in the future? Yeah. I'll make another album. I don't want to announce it though. The pressure of the release date kind of fucked with me, so I want to. It was exhausting. Wu-Tang Clan. I like some of their songs. There aren't that many like musical artists that I like Big L. I don't know if I said that already. There aren't that many musical artists that like I like their whole discography. So like there's just songs here and there. I mostly listen to movie soundtracks. I've not heard Destiny's rap. I need to listen to that because I might need to fire some shots at him at some point. You never know. Thank you. The Beat for I Kill Pedophiles is amazing. What kind of content am I planning to do on Twitch? For now, just a weekly show called Advice and Confessions with Mr. Girl. It's every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific. I know for some international folks that's not a good time, and I'm thinking about how to change that, but for my current Twitch admin and my schedule, that's the best time. If you guys get me fired from my job, that would free up some time so then I could stream more. Or if I start making enough on Patreon that I can quit my job and then I can stream more. But for right now, I think YouTube is my more nuanced, like kind of important central content. So I don't want to, like, it's with all this stuff happening, like streaming on different streams every day and doing all the world tour. I definitely that and working on YouTube, like it's not sustainable. So I need to keep streaming till like once a week for now. And once I get fired or quit, then we'll be going somewhere. I don't know who Idea and Abilities is. Do it now. Do what? Oh, I don't know. I don't want to listen to. I don't want to live react to Destiny's stream. Go-to soundtracks. Silence of the Lambs. I like Interstellar a lot. The Prestige is a big one, and the movie, of course. It's not a score, but Baby Driver has a really good soundtrack. I've never been to SawCon or any convention. I don't know because of COVID. I might not. Invest more time into streaming. It's going to be worth it. Yeah, but I feel like it doesn't have that artistic quality. The camera's just sitting in one place. It's not. I can't express myself the way I need to with streaming. So I want to do it, but I don't want it to become my main thing. It's for now. It's just once a week in short, controlled bursts. I've seen Arrival. Oh yeah, great soundtrack. Same with Blade Runner. What's his name? Johan Johansson? Is that how you say his name? He died, so that sucks. Mandy soundtrack is good. Kill Bill, yeah, it's good. What do I do for my office job? I'm not gonna help you get me fired. Come on. Oh, SawCon, these nuts. God damn it. I don't know what you motherfuckers. Taking advantage. You're taking advantage of me. No hot takes yet. Yeah, I'm not gonna just blurt out hot takes. Dune was fine. I am vaccinated. I might make a vaccine video, but my thoughts on the vaccine are pretty boring. Just that I'm vaccinated and like you should probably get the vaccine, and people are too paranoid. Am I worried about getting ligma? What's ligma? Fuck you. I'm not that fucking stupid, okay? SawCon. Gotta worry about the conventions question was good. Yeah. Yeah, I was just listening to Girl with the dragon tattoo the other day. Yeah, you don't need to fucking say it, Revolt Rise. I get it. Oh yeah, I like Tyler the Creator also, obviously. I was 10 when we first got internet in the house, so I pretty much grew up with the internet. I've enjoyed the newfound fame. I feel like I have to be responsible with it. I think because my content is irresponsible, I think when I'm not making the content, I have to be hyper responsible. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm not doing anything unethical or wrong or shitty or whatever. I don't know who Mind Goblin is. And I feel like maybe I should. I don't know what's going on. I feel like you're going to say like Mind Goblin my ass, and then I'm going to feel stupid. I'm not nervous about tomorrow. Oh yeah, Midnight Mass is good. I don't want to talk about it though, because it's best to see it without knowing it. I don't plan on burning the bridge with Destiny. I'm not a real bridge burner. I'm more of an open conflict, talk stuff out kind of person, and I'm sure we'll get pissed at each other, if not frequently, like, you know, occasionally. But I feel like we'll figure that out. All right. You seriously need to stream more than once per week, dude. You could be huge. I don't even know what you're missing out on. You don't even know what you're missing out on financially if you don't stream a lot, Mr. Girl. I'm medium size. How many? Okay, I see there's 850 people in here, which is that is kind of a lot. When you put it like that. Oh, I have 2. Okay, so I got 1,000 followers today. Yeah. That's a bunch. I would say my parents burnt the bridges, but I understand you may have a more traditional view of that situation. But yeah, I do think parental relationships, there's a bit more that I feel that I'm owed, and that I'm willing and need to set more strict boundaries. I think like with other people, if I make a new friend or a colleague, or like with Steven, obviously it's more complicated because he's helping me a lot more than I'm helping him, and so that I think that has to be acknowledged, the power differential there. But I also do like him, as I told him, and but it's totally different. Like, yeah, I burn bridges in the sense that I'll break up with someone I'm dating, and in the sense that I'll set boundaries with people and be kind of demanding in relationships. But I'm not one to just like throw a friendship away because we got in a fight, basically. 36-year-old hip-hop takes and give us Nas or Jay-Z. I don't listen to Nas or Jay-Z. They're not emotional enough. Like I like them fine, but it doesn't speak to me. Destiny never burns bridges on his end. It's the other person who does the bridge burning because they can't handle him. Yeah, see, I feel like I can put up with his shit. We'll see. You're in the top 0.1% of streamers. I can't tell if that's true. 850 just to hear you talk about random top. Yeah, it is kind of, it's a lot of people. I did debate Destiny because I was desperate. All right, I don't want to go debating people, but some of my fans were like, "You should go debate Destiny. You think you'll get along," and so I did it. Okay, now I don't have to debate anybody anymore. Set up subs and donations and stuff. Yeah, I have to be an affiliate first, don't I? I don't know how this shit works. Infrared show. Suicide Boys, yes. I like Suicide Boys. Yes. I do. Wicked Supreme said he's up to talking to you now. If you're running out of content. Yeah, let's... Max, I can set up donations for you. Oh, with Streamlabs? I think I made a Streamlabs account. I don't know how it works. Oh yeah, PayPal link. I have a PayPal link. I think it's just... PayPal. I'm not going to mute myself. Yeah, it's just PayPal me / Mr. Girl. What's the PayPal.me / Mr. Girl. I don't know where I'm supposed to put that. Yeah. Donations running through Streamlabs, OBS, or a direct PayPal link. Wicked Supreme is a tough interview. Link my Patreon. I think I did link my Patreon. Put it in my about. Okay. I'm putting my Patreon in my about. Oh, I don't need these anymore. Okay. How do I change my about?
I don't need these anymore.
Edit about and links.
How do I change my about? I don't need these anymore.
It's in there.
Edit
my
about
Patreon
and links.
is in there. 5 social links.
How do I change my about? I don't need these anymore.
It's in there.
Edit
my
about
Patreon
and links.
is in there. 5 social links. Yeah, that's my Patreon.
How do I change my about? I don't need these anymore.
It's in there.
Edit
my
about and
Patreon
links.
is in there. 5 social links. God fucking yeah, that's my Patreon.
How do I change my about? I don't need these anymore.
It's in there.
Edit
my
about and links.
5 social links. God fucking yeah, that's my. Jesus Christ. All right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. God damn it. Okay. Put it in my bio. PayPal.me / Mr. Girl. Oh, God. This is a... Yeah, fuck you. Okay, I'm turning my desktop audio volume down. It's open beta, that's right. You're participating in an open beta. We're still figuring things out. I don't think I'm... Shitty PayPal link picture in Paint. Alright, I have twice as many viewers as Stardust, and she's... Oh, Vito. Yeah, I'll bring Vito on. See, that'll be a nice, friendly interview. Viewers of Stardust, you've been doing this for a few years and makes a living doing it. You literally quit your job next week at this rate, and it'll be fine if I start streaming every day. If that's true, then I will. My desk is raised. My chair is a normal height. My desk is raised. It's a sit to stand desk, so it's like, you know. All right. Wait, I have so many. Oh, people are telling me that I'm muted. Somebody DM'd me saying that I'm running a cult. Somebody telling me not to burn myself out. Wait, Vito, are you... Okay. Stream consistently. Figure out the option. My bad. Internet can't keep up with the 1080. Okay, I can drop to 720. I'm gonna call you on Discord, Vito. And then I gotta stop. I'm gonna do this briefly, and then I have to go because I am tired and I have to do self-care. 140p, yeah. I understand. Yeah, I am gonna look after myself. I can't stay up all night. Fucking, I mean, it's not late, but I can't just do this forever. I'm not Destiny. I don't want to stream 10 hours a day. Copy Destiny's website. What are my thoughts on incest? I think there's usually a power differential that makes it so that it's abuse.
Yeah, but she's your sister, so she's kind of your property, right?
I didn't think.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, that was a joke, by the way.
Yeah, I figured. Okay, let me
well,
turn.
Well, that was more for your new viewers.
Right.
Can they hear me?
They can hear you. Yeah.
Cool. Welcome to your new life, idiot.
What's my new life? I'm a streamer now?
Yeah, you're going to be like Destiny. You're going to spend every waking moment in front of a computer, and you have no life ever again.
Yeah, that freaks me out.
As well it should.
Is he still too quiet? There's a delay. They said you're too quiet, but I don't know. I don't think it's true.
I think it's because I was farther away from my microphone when I came in. It should be okay now. I can crank it up.
Okay, this is Vito. Vito Giswaldi. This is youtube.com/Vito. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right. I know how to say your URL.
I know how to say yours. youtube.com/MrGirl.
That's right.
I'm the #1 Mr. Girl fan in America, if not the world.
That's true. You've always been there for me. You've always championed me, even in my darkest hours of being banned, being harassed, death threats.
Because I'm a grifter, Max. I see a rising star and I grab on.
So you knew this was going to happen all along.
I always knew. I knew this was coming.
That's crazy.
And I'm glad it should have happened earlier. Let's be clear.
I guess the world wasn't ready. I'm just glad that it's happening while I'm still alive.
Yeah, you don't want to be one of those guys. You don't want to be a Van Gogh, die penniless.
Right. That's not good.
That's always a tragedy, guys.
Yeah, the chat's telling me if I stream every day for 10 hours, I can make $500,000 a year. Maybe I'll just do it for 1 year and just, then I'll spend all my money on making
money.
Yeah.
What is your Twitch channel? Twitch.tv/what?
Mr. Girl Returns.
Mr. Girl Returns. I would say, see how you feel. I feel like you're a kind of guy who you're relaxed enough where you could probably stream while doing other stuff.
I could, but I worry about putting out diluted content like that. I guess if it's on Twitch and it's like a different thing, then I could do more of it. But I feel like the highly edited, really thought-provoking stuff on YouTube is like, that's the more meaningful stuff to me. And then the discussions are good, but I feel like the core of what I want to do is YouTube.
Yeah. The problem is the starving artist paradox, where your best work makes the least amount of money.
Right, like the Valve Index review.
Yeah, which is like beautiful and made you what, $0?
I think so. I think it's not monetized at all in any fashion and has gotten no views.
That Valve Index review is fantastic. You know what you should do? You should sell a Season 1 Mr. Girl DVD commentary.
I could do like a Blu-ray.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Here's my favorite bits from the past year, if not all of them, and then maybe spotlight some of the ones you like the most.
That's a good idea.
I always have good ideas.
All right, what else should I do?
You should review a Star Wars movie.
I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that is a good idea. I mean, good Mr. Girl ideas.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll come up with some stuff. I think you should stream games. Let's put it this way. You like games.
I love games.
I think you should do what Destiny does, play some games while talking to the people.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can play that Last of Us stupid multiplayer that you keep. Did you see the Last of Us 2 multiplayer's coming?
Oh, yeah. I know it's coming. Is there a new update?
I just know it's coming out sometime this year.
Okay.
So you can stream that.
I could, yeah. Halo Infinite. That's what I want to stream because I played the first.
Have you played Halo Infinite?
No, but I played the original Halo when I was in high school, and I got this. I got this controller, so I'm ready.
I want to play Halo Infinite.
All right, well let's play some.
I would play Halo with you. I wish we could play the Final Fantasy Battle Royale together, but it's not on PC yet, and it's driving me nuts.
That's not really my Steam. That's not really my speed, though.
You play Fortnite?
I hate Fortnite, though.
I know.
I never want to play it again.
Well, what are you gonna do? I think, Mr. Girl, look, this is a new chapter in the Mr. Girl saga.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Don't get too far ahead of yourself, but I think you got to stream more than one night a week.
Yeah, I gotta
Look at
think.
these people.
I know.
Look at this audience.
I gotta think about this. Yeah, I guess if I get off the stream and there's 1 billion donations, then maybe I should just quit my job sooner. But then if I get banned, I'm fucked. That's the thing.
I don't think. Well, don't get banned from Twitch. I mean, everybody else on Twitch talks about all sorts of stuff, and they don't get banned. Just don't. Don't show many of the pictures that me and you share privately. That's another joke. I have to keep clarifying.
You do. That's not. Do not quit
Nobody
your job right
understands
away.
what a joke.
I know.
This is why you get in trouble. Is whenever I make a joke, I go, "That's a joke." When you make a joke, you stare deadpan into the camera.
If I stream a few hours a day throughout the week, yeah. But also, I think there's another thing where it's like, I'm like the new exciting thing, but that doesn't mean that it could lead to success long term, but I think I should take a measured approach to this. But the problem is, it means that there's going to be a period of time where I am super busy and fighting with Shaylin a super lot. But I can do that for a while, and then I think, yeah, I'm gonna have to. I can't. I don't know.
Don't you normally play video games during the week?
But that relaxes me. Streaming is not relaxing.
I know. You're not allowed to relax. You're our monkey now.
Right, exactly.
We're gonna run you into the ground, and then you're gonna kill yourself. And then what can you do?
Yeah, I don't want that.
Welcome to the capitalist machine, my friend.
Right. Take the momentum.
You just do it long enough to collect up the ducats, buy a bunch of Google stuff.
If you let the hype die down now, see, they're saying if I let the hype die down, I'll never get it back. So I'm supposed to self-destruct.
Yes.
To do the monkey dance.
Yes. I don't want you to sleep. I want you to yell at your girlfriend all the time about how this is your future and she doesn't understand that you're living your dreams.
Streaming is stressful because I have to be emotionally present and focused.
Can't you stream 2 hours? That's what I was doing. I could do it. I just, if I was, let's put it this way, if I was getting 700 viewers on a stream, I'd stream 2 hours a night.
Damn. You think I should stream nightly?
At least 3 nights a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tell your cousin who plays Fortnite with you that your relationship is dead and you are committed to your audience now. They're your new family.
I don't think that's
healthy.
No.
Tell him he can be in the audience. He can chat at you, and you'll occasionally acknowledge him.
Look at the pressure. The pressure in the chat. It's crazy.
I think you got to do 3 nights.
I think I gotta take a.
Let's put it this way. You have a job, right?
I have a job.
We'll try to slowly replace that job with this job. You don't have to do it overnight. But if you start off, splitting the difference, and then if one of them makes more money than the other one, quit it out.
Someone just said, here's the right answer. This hype will subside, and you will lose viewers in the next couple of weeks no matter what you do. I believe that is true.
But I also believe that's true.
But you can retain some and capitalize on the hype by starting to stream at least a couple times a week at regular times.
You want to build look, a lot of these people, I hate to say it to you, 700 people in the audience, you're abandoners. You're going to abandon my boy. And you should be ashamed of yourself for it. You should commit. Right now, if you're really committed to the Mr. Girl experience, right now in your mind, I want you to switch in your brain that goes, yeah, I'm here for this guy. I'm going to make it happen. And not all of you are going to do it, but some of you will. And those guys, you can switch the switch and go, I like this guy, and I like what he's doing, and he's fresh, and he's new, and he's talented. I'm going to be here.
I can stream my fights with Shaylin.
Yeah, you're going to sit. Well, no, not that.
That's an insta ban.
Set up a streaming schedule. Tell it to the masses. If you're here to support the man, the myth, the Mr. Girl, I will be here for you. Because here's the thing, is you're a provider. You're providing entertainment. You're providing comfort in a time when people just need to hear that there's sane people out there to talk to listen to converse with. Don't do it for you. Do it for them, Max. It's a mutually beneficial relationship. But think about what you're denying them if you don't stream. Who are they going to go to? Who are they going to go to if you're not here?
I want to make my artistic YouTube video.
You can do that as well.
Yeah.
Isn't there some aspect of YouTube you can work on while there? Probably not. You can't really edit on stream.
No.
You could make title cards on stream. I draw on stream. You could do draw. You don't draw. You could start.
I need to have an honest conversation with myself in the mirror. I
think these people need you, Max. I think you want to reach people, and I think this is a way to have the most direct. We live in a fascinating time. We really do.
I don't think I'm reaching people. I think right now I'm just chatting with people. But I think that it is the core YouTube, but the content and maybe some of the discussions that is making them want to talk to me, you know?
I'm going to argue that you devalue the value of conversation. Even if it is just, hey, I'm here, I'm alive, I have ideas that maybe coincide with yours and you enjoy hearing that I'm here doing that. It's a community.
I'm not going to drop the art. Somebody said don't drop the art. I'm not going to drop the art. The question is, am I going to drop my job and stream more? Am I going to just do both and be really overworked and drop my mental health? I think that's it. I think those are my choices. So, or am I going to stream less and preserve mental health and lose some of the heat that's right now?
It's the capitalist dilemma, Max. We have limited time with which to create. I mean, look at me. I'm doing like a podcast. I stream sometimes. Yeah. Got to make time to jerk off, you know, eat.
Right.
Hard to balance that work-life scenario.
Yeah, if I get banned, I'm fucked.
You're not going to get banned.
I've been banned before. All right, listen. I gotta go. I gotta think about this.
MRGIRL streaming 24/7 starting tomorrow. Everyone.
Yeah, I can't.
Come on back.
I can't do it.
I think you can do 3 nights a week though.
Maybe.
I think you can do 2 nights a week. 3 nights a week, Max. 3.
Okay.
That's a pretty standard streaming schedule for guys who have jobs.
Yeah.
And let's put it this way: you do 3 nights a week, and let's say you're streaming and you make $200 in a stream. You're gonna go, oh, well, I could probably just do this and not train clients.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, it's going to be a number of factors. Maybe your audience is poor, and you'll find out they're poor, and you stop streaming entirely. We don't like poor people here on the MRGIRL. That's a joke.
Oh, who am I gonna raid into? I don't even know how to do that. How do I raid somebody?
I think you type /raid space channel name into the chat, but I could be lying.
Is that true, guys?
Someone tell me if that's incorrect. People are
saying I'll raid Stardust. Raid person.
Yeah, /raid.
/raid. Wait. How do I
space her username? You just type whatever her username is. You don't have to put any brackets or anything around it.
Just raid Stardust?
Do you not have to? Yeah, you gotta put / though.
/raid space Stardust.
Is her name Stardust? Does she have twitch.tv/Stardust?
I'm not muted. Don't fuck with me. I can see the levels. Don't fuck with me. All right, so you got... Yeah, I think it's just...
What's her actual Twitch name?
Her actual Twitch name? Let's see.
Oh, I guess it is Stardust.
It is?
Yeah. Well, good for her. That's a good Twitch name.
Raid Stardust. All right. Well, if you all disappear when I hit this button, I'm not muted. Stop fucking with me. See you guys later.
Let's stream Halo soon.
Okay.
I get to be Master Chief.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I see it's like taking off in 3 seconds. All right. Good night, guys.
Did it work?
Raid now. Yeah. It worked.
Yeah, it just switched me over to Stardust. And now you can go watch her go,
Oh my god! Thank you, Mr. Girl. Oh my god!
Oh man, I did not expect that. I think Destiny might have rated me.
I assume that's what happened.
Yeah, there's no other
I
explanation.
assume something happened.
Yeah.
Because how many followers do you actually have on Twitch?
2,000.
Yeah, somebody must have rated you. YouTube numbers are going up, huh, buddy?
Yeah. I got like 1,000. I got like 1,000 subs.
Yeah, why'd you get so many today? Did something specific happen today?